I don't want to close this one.
Just making sure the sound's working. Okay, people are already in the chat. People are already chatting. Just sign into chat? I'm not going to sign into chat. No, yeah, it'll take 30 seconds and we'll be live. Not dropping any frames. Pretty good.
Can I chat on the YouTube?
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
Cool.
I just, on my end, I didn't want to. Okay, can we do a test right now with all of us? Just introducing ourselves, and then we'll do it again for real after people come in. Hi, my name's David Michael Bennett, and this is my microphone. You can probably hear it fine. Brian?
Oh, hi, I'm Brian Barber, and this is my microphone is very tiny, and it's in this cord. And a lot of people hold it like this now that they're home, and they hold it like this, like it's going to make them sound better, but it probably doesn't.
Hi, I'm Isabella Bunny Bennett, and this is my microphone. It's kind of creepy. And I'm talking, la 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 la, can you hear me?
All the levels look good on my end. Cool. If you see any weird hiccups, it's just because this is the first time we've done a video call on YouTube.
Yeah.
Streaming, using my... Oh, Bunny disappeared. Bunny came back.
Sorry, I think the plug wasn't all the way in.
Oh.
I kept like flickering.
Chelsea says the stream's looking good. We can hear Brian's a little crinkly. Oh, I mean that's just because whatever.
Is it because of my hair?
Is it because of the fries you eat?
No, I think
I'm crinkle cut fries.
Does someone have jangly bells or something? I hear jangly bells.
Jangly bells.
It's not my jangly bells.
It's probably just
all my
noise, room noise being picked up by microphone. Anyways, Bunny and I got SM58s, so we hopefully sound pretty similar.
We got a sun, Brian.
Oh, it probably is your hair.
No, I was like, I'll flip sides.
Anyways,
Diggly boos.
I was like, what is that? You got someone have maracas over there?
It's like a perfect length of just like.
Just so everyone's aware, I don't know how it looks like to all of you, but for the stream, Brian, you're in the middle, and Bunny and I are flanking you. So
What?
If you turn to your left,
side do you want?
Look over
no,
here.
the other way, Bunny.
Who's to my left?
That's David, me.
Oh!
I can't get into your screen. I'm trying.
No. Now you punch.
I mean, kind of.
Oh God, David, why?
Anyways, that's the way they all became the Steam Powered Bunch.
So yeah, cool. I like it.
Okay. Well, this was a fun stream. Well, why don't we quit while we're ahead?
See you guys later.
Yeah. So this is fun. So we have some questions. Now that we're up and going. Now that we're up and going, we can start this for real. Let's pretend like people are just getting here. And
are they like settling in their seats and like someone's opening a chip bag?
well, you know, I was holding out hope that the stream would crap out, but my cell phone seems to have better internet connection than Cox cable right now. So I'm not getting any drop frames from YouTube like we were a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. And it's worth it. It's worth my 15 gigabyte
you guys are worth
limit. I think it's technically unlimited data, but after 15 gigabytes for hotspot data, they slow your connection down. Anyways, hi, we're Steam Powered Giraffe, and we are holding a live Q&A right now. We've collected questions from social media, and by we, I mean Chelsea and Camille Penyak, and our social media person Danielle. And then they've selected from all the social media sources. So if you have questions now, it's too late because it's way better for us to have a list of questions than try to pick them out of the chat that goes by too fast. So thanks for understanding.
I'm gonna try to answer the text messages on the chat as well. Fast time.
Sure. I forgot to put on slow mode for this one. So
really,
I think so.
I mean, even slow mo was hard for me, so
yeah,
it's fine.
So Chelsea just reminded me, and I know we just talked about that if we could do a small origins of the band, because we got so many questions about that. So I figure if you guys are cool with it, we'll kind of treat this like a panel, like if we're at a convention, we can kind of go through, get the basics out, so everyone kind of knows who we are, where we from, how we met. I think we actually have a question about
Where we from?
about some of that stuff. But anyways, let's introduce ourselves again, because this is the real stream. Bunny, would you like to start?
Sure. Hey guys, it's Isabella Bunny Bennett. I play Rabbit Robot and Gigi the Giraffe and others on Steam Powered Giraffe. And yeah, I'm probably the hardest to see now that I realize it on the screen and related. But hey, it's great to be here. What am I supposed to say?
Your name. You did it.
I said that.
I think.
Cool. I've been held up in quarantine. Well, not quarantine. Sorry, I don't want to. I'm obliging by staying inside. Obviously, because we're supposed to.
For sure.
California knows how to quarantine.
I've
California
been streaming. I've been working on stuff. Having a
in
good
the
time.
City
With
of
fans.
San Diego.
But this is really great. It's been a while since I've seen the boys, and it's almost like we could.
It's like I can almost.
You remember when this was a thing? Remember when we could do this?
Wait,
It wasn't so long ago.
Remember when we used to put our palms together? We always did when we met.
Remember when we touch each other's faces?
So good to see you, dude. Never again.
Remember when we'd rub our eyelashes together, make sure all the juices
Yes.
mixed?
Butterfly kisses.
When we spit in each other's mouths, can't do that anymore.
Darn you, coronavirus!
It was a different time.
Curse you. But much love, signing out.
Yeah.
Brian,
my
I think you're
name
up. Who are you?
My name is Brian Barber, and I play Zero in Steam Powered Giraffe. I've also brought a show and tell item, and it's this PlayStation remote. It's glowing because there's a game. I'm not playing it, but there was. It's on pause, but it's there, and I'm here.
Thanks, Brian.
You're
And
welcome.
oh, Bunny zoomed in. Cool. My name's David Michael Bennett, and I play the spine in the band Steam Powered Giraffe. And I do other things too. But I mean, in Steam Powered Giraffe, I do things. So that's all of us. We have our. Is Danielle, Camille, and you all in the chat? Should I? Okay. We have some moderators in the chat. Sorry if it flicks. I think a flicker is off, on and off. I see that on the stream. That's just because who knows, Discord. I don't know. But let's get into this panel-esque type of situation here. I think Bunny does a pretty good job introducing us.
What to do?
Kind of like let's get the basics out of the way. What are we? If no one's seen Steam Powered Giraffe before, if they're just walking into our panel.
Steam Powered Giraffe. We're a musical pantomime troupe. And we sing about 3-part harmony, sometimes 4, when we can duplicate one of ourselves. And yeah, we pretend robots, or do we pretend maybe we're real robots? We started out on this, doing sort of a robot act. My brother, John Sprague, and Aaron Burke. And our changed. We got Sam Luke, who played Hatchworth. Now we got Brian, who plays Zero the robot. But yeah, it's been quite a wild ride. We tour around making shows, making laughs. It's a very, very weird show. If you're in it, if you've only heard the music, you're only seeing part of it. But yeah, we've taken initiative over the years to try to bring more of the live show to you guys. And either Brian's standing really still or his camera froze. No, he's just really still.
Bunny, I see on Discord there's a little bit of issue on your end with the connection. So every once in a while your audio cut out, but I think it's fine. I'm just letting you know that if you notice anything, it's probably that.
It's probably something that I accidentally unplugged.
It looks like we have Danielle, Camille, and Chelsea Paniak in the chat right now moderating. So they're all here now.
And me too. I'm moderating.
Let me see if I take off this alpha filter. That looks okay. It's like a little black. Yeah. I'm still messing with the video overlay as I do all this. It's worth it. In the city of San Diego. Okay, anyways.
In the city.
Okay, now it's just it's a black band.
Mike's still cutting in.
It is.
It is?
But no, it's only like every few. I wouldn't worry about it. It's just because I think you have AT&T or you have Cox?
I have Cox.
Yeah, I think it's Cox. Cable's just hasn't been very good. They've had an outage in our area for the last week. It still works, but it's just not good during these times.
I mean, I can.
No, you're fine.
Well, I could put my input sensitivity. It's not that, right?
No. I think it sounds like a compression thing where it's like losing something.
So it's just connection issues.
But it's only like every once in a while, so I think everyone will until people say otherwise. But it sounds good to me. So yeah, Steam Powered Giraffe, doing lots of robot things. Balboa Park. Anything else we might have forgotten? Brian, do you have any? You've heard this spiel a few times.
I've heard the spiel a
Are we
couple
missing
times.
something?
Did you talk about taking mime classes and stuff like that, or is that what?
I did not.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
that's where the intro started. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we took so in college, we met. Bunny and I met up. No, I'm just kidding. We've known each other since the womb. But Bunny and John Sprague and Aaron Burke, who I think might have been friends, but I don't think they really knew each other. Maybe they were getting to know each other.
They did too. I mean, they took classes together.
I couldn't remember if the classes or the shows that that they were in together started first. So.
Well, I don't know that John. Did John do any shows?
He didn't, but he did. He was doing some children's shows.
He did some touring shows with us. But that's.
Oh, that's right. I remember. All right. Anyways.
Cool.
It's been a while.
Bunny, your audio significantly reduced. Should I turn you up on my end, or did you change something on yours?
I re-plugged it into a more stable connection. Hold on. Let me
probably just.
Sorry, I can.
Because I can boost it over here. Yeah. So.
My volume's actually cut in half. Unboost me.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done it.
Going back to the chat.
Okay.
Testing. It's Bunny Bennett.
Yeah,
it's really
good.
Loud, probably.
Nope, it's good
Okay.
now.
Let me know if it cuts out anymore. It shouldn't though. Hopefully.
Where were we talking about? Oh yeah.
We met in college. We both took like Jerry Hager's class. He was the Seaport Village mime for so many years, and he's sort of our mime mentor. You'll hear us mention him a lot. He's been making actually little fun videos for kids while he's all locked up.
Really? That's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's called Grandpa's Office, and it's like him with his ventriloquist dummy pup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Cool.
He's good, man. Yeah.
I linked it on my Twitter if you guys want to see where we get
I'm
it from.
redoing some of these donation messages because I had it was like cut off a little bit. There you go.
We've got so many questions, but I think that gives the rundown. We've done so many music videos and stuff. Obviously, like Honeybees kind of like helped boost their popularity. Just it was a nice put together music video, and it was a popular song at the time. And yeah, it really helped draw attention to us. And from there, we played at the San Diego Zoo 2 summers in a row for 75 days straight.
73
both times.
each.
73. It just keeps adding every year.
I think it was
another day
72,
to
and
just make
then
it
we had
sound more
we had the
impressive.
one like press day. So I think that's
700 days.
I think
at
that's
the
why
zoo. It was maddening. The amount of makeup that we put on was, yeah.
I can't imagine
It
that.
was nice to have a job.
I know. John's face started falling apart at the end. Like literally, he was starting to have open sores and stuff. And I was like, dude,
I
what
think
are
it
you
was
doing?
because he was like scrubbing his face at the time, and I think it was like a hard lesson to learn, like with makeup is like
because like the metal on your face,
gentle.
you got to be real gentle.
and if you're doing it like 7 days a week, it's like way too exfoliating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even I would have like little like scrapes along my eyes and stuff. The sensitive parts.
I just started
if you accidentally.
baby wash in my hand, and if I couldn't get off with my hands, then it wasn't coming off.
Yeah. It was tough. It was maddening. Like I couldn't do it now. I think I would. It would just be like, why is this worth it?
I'd do it.
It
I'd
was
do
totally worth it at
for
the
the right
time.
amount of money. But basically, what we have now is
It wasn't a lot of money, but for us at the time, it was a lot.
Yeah,
So
we were
like,
unemployed.
let's
It was
do
like our
this.
first like paying gig in a long time
Totally.
when we did the zoo, anyways.
And then we just started doing more live shows plugged in. Steve Negretti were like helped us keep pushing that side of things.
Well, what we do now makes a lot more sense as far as like the show and stuff. Even the show at the zoo, you know, it was a little cut down, and they didn't want us to do as many bits, and we worked as many as we could into it, but we were kind of under the thumb a little bit at the zoo.
Yeah. Well, here what we did is like every time the boss was near, we'd switch to playing covers. But anytime he was gone, we would just cut the covers entirely, and no one knew.
Yeah. I mean, we're fine doing covers, but you know, they had a very specific thing they wanted, and we did it. But we knew our other stuff was, you know,
we did talk with the animals. If I could talk to the animals, and then the boss goes, honey bee.
Basically. I mean, they liked our original.
It was a
stuff
lot of
too,
fun though.
but, you know.
And then after that, like obviously our tour just like exploded, and we had so much fun for so many years, and we still do. The rest is history.
So I think that's a pretty good place to start. Let's get into some of these questions. Like I said, we've collected a bunch of questions from all over the interwebs. Well, I didn't, but our folks.
Somebody did.
And we're gonna go through them. So we have Instagram, some from the YouTube community, Facebook.
Let's answer questions.
Twitter.
This is my.
More ventriloquism. More ventriloquism.
Let's
This
just
is
get right in
our
here.
famous character, Mr. Skullbones. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a skull I have.
Wait a second.
That light.
I
He
never
lights up,
approved Mr. Skullbones.
but
Wait,
not
is it
very
me?
well. Like he lights up a little bit. You can't see.
I like it.
It's one of my props for my show tonight. So I'm like, it's like a.
Do you want to get your plugs out of the way while we're, or you want to wait to the end?
I just like touching and playing with toys. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm sure people need more entertainment. So if you guys got anything to
Yes,
plug,
I have sorry. Yes, I do have a show tonight. We're riffing on the original Gamera movie. Me and my girlfriend.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, check it out. Gamera the Invincible. I can't remember what cut we're having. I think it's going to be the English one, unfortunately. Just whatever in the public domain. So yeah,
Yep.
this 6 p.m. Pacific time tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific time on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Bunny Bennett.
wait, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.
6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it twice or something.
Yeah.
And cool. I have a Twitch stream probably this Sunday. I don't know when I'll do it, but I've been doing acoustic stuff, playing some Steam Powered Giraffe stuff. But I don't have
I've
anything
got a-
advertised. What about you, Brian?
I've got a stream at my house. You can find me in my window. You can come look at my window. I'll be performing in my house by myself.
What if I just like? What if I hadn't said anything and I just started stroking? Think anyone would notice?
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's
There's
a
only
perfectly
so much to
normal
look
thing
at
do,
on,
just-
on a live stream. Yeah, let's get right into this. These are in no particular order. Basically, just as we collected them. So we didn't go through and try to make them all, flow in a certain. Some people are really good at doing that, like
For sure.
MCs, but yeah, no, we didn't do that. There's a lot of questions. We probably only got like 10% of the amount that people send us.
Nice. Well, let's hit them. Let's
Okay.
see what's up.
So
do it.
Here we go. The first one comes from Instagram. Roux River Rat, and that's probably not how you spell that. Roux, yes, of course, it's French, right? R-O-U-X. Roux River Rat, with dots in the middle of all those. Do any of y'all have a story of a funny mishap at a performance? Yes.
Oh,
We should
boy,
get
do
we should get the normal one that we say all the time at panels out of the way.
Which one?
Do you know that story?
Yes.
I don't know. Do I?
Oh well,
I don't know if we're talking about the same one.
okay. This is the one where we said a swear word on stage. It's
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were.
it's funny.
If you were
It
talking
was
about
funny.
Brian or me or what.
like
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know,
drop
Have we had one? With
a.
Brian?
Not really. Not really.
I don't know. We haven't had,
Was
we
it-
haven't
was
had
it
any
the one
bad.
at the
Any bad.
zoo?
Well, mishaps,
Was it the zoo
anyways.
that you're- Was it the zoo one?
Yeah, the zoo one.
No. Wait, is it the one that you accidentally said or me?
You.
Oh yeah, it was at the
No.
zoo, and I was doing a joke about like I've always done like the spine voice, but back in the day, we did more of just. It wasn't like a bit, I guess, but I was basically trying to be like, I'm the spine.
Yeah,
And I
it
said
was
the
like
F
Rabbit
word.
making fun of me for some in some
Yeah, and it
shit
was
or
like,
something.
it's just a bunch of jumbled words like, oh, I do this and I have a hat. And then I said one of the adjectives I had there was effing, and all of the fans in the audience went like pale faced and wide eyed. And there was this moment where we signed this pact to never speak of this again if I moved on really quickly. Because our boss wasn't in there and no one caught on, and I was just. But,
Well, it
oh
was
God,
it was
the
pretty
scariest
mumbled, but
I've
we
ever-
should also paint a picture. It was like 10 people. Like it was early. It was like it was one of
It
the
was
off
early in
days
the
at the
day.
zoo, and there was the
Oh, it
people who
could've
were
been
there were
much
like
worse.
fans, like and I don't think it wasn't like someone said the F word like super. You would have had to be.
It
like,
was very slurred.
hanging
but
on to
I
our
was
words.
still, I was still just terrified. Like that was my heart
I mean, me too.
sank.
And then we were like, and moving right along. There was no pause. We literally just went right. We just
Now
went
that there's
right on.
another one that you did, right?
Well, see, this is the problem. Is Steve, our sound guy, said that it was a, and this is I don't know if it's a mishap. It wasn't as super funny though as compared to the F word in hindsight. But I said the word shit. But see, in my mind,
What?
shit's okay to say, but that's one of those things. You can only have so many shits in a PG-13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's
We try to keep.
I don't
that
know. I don't.
S word out.
Who decides? Who's like the council of curse? They're like, oh, eight shits.
But I
Two
think
shits.
it was because we did this. We did this Clockwork Vaudeville show with some circus performers. It was John and Sam was like a drummer at the time. It was like right before our zoo gig actually, and I said something like "oh shit" or something, and I guess "oh shit" I would never really say on stage, but I did. But as far as the word shit goes, I don't see there's any problem. But I think "oh shit" doesn't sound like a Steam Powered Giraffe thing, a catchphrase for the spine. So that was mine. Funny mishap? I don't know. We have lots of mishaps on live shows. Strings breaking, or I start the song in the wrong key, and I'm like, hold on.
I ripped my pants once. It was the last time I wore those really high
Oh,
pants
right.
before Rabbit transitioned, and I I don't know how it happened, but I must have just gotten really into it, and I just heard this. And for the rest of the show, I just kind of stood. No, wait, I think I called attention to it eventually. I was like, just rip my pants, guys.
I do remember that. But it
was
wasn't
the
like
last
it was.
time
You had underwear on.
That
It wasn't
boy
like
rabbit was a thing, and my costume just.
It's funny in hindsight. Like how I imagine it is more funny than it probably actually was at the time. But
It was funny. I think once I called it out, I was like, whatever, like
And I ripped my pants.
that was really hard. They were like triple, quadruple stitched. Like if you ever saw those pants, they were like crazy durable.
well, what about you, Brian? You got any things before we move on to another question?
And so, like, I mean, I feel like our entire show is mishaps, but I definitely did a Scooby-Doo fall in a cafeteria once, doing like a kid show.
Oh.
Like,
Oh.
my legs went, and then I shot up in the air, and like it was like the very beginning of the show. So I was like, hey, like sliding around. It's supposed to be like a hip hop show, and I just like, and I was like, all right.
Did the kids
like-
all laugh?
Yeah, of course they did. And I knocked the wind out of myself, so like trying to sing afterwards, like.
So you played into
So-
it, is what you're saying.
I mean, look, I'm already a clown, so it just kind of made up with them.
At least you didn't like
they already on mine.
break like a tendon or something in your knee or
Yeah, like
something.
break my tailbone, and then I gotta like.
And then you can never do hip hop dances on cafeteria floors again.
But it's like one of those things where like I was like Scooby Doo, that doesn't happen. Where you like your legs kick, but like I was like trying to catch it.
Was
like,
one of the teachers like, there, this is what hip hop gets you. Now
No.
you know not to
No, like-
to mess around in the cafeteria.
They're like, yeah, no, you want to be an actor? Look at this guy. Get a real job. Like cafeteria.
You want to be
theater.
performing for your classmates? As if they're never mind. As if they're gonna be like school. Anyways, cool. Yeah, that wasn't Steam Powered Giraffe related, but that's okay because
It
we've
wasn't, no.
had a lot of. I'm just making sure people didn't think that happened in Steam Powered Giraffe.
No.
But
And then both of them laughed at me, and they're well, you're so stupid. And I was like, please stop. Don't yell at me. It happened just like that.
No, it didn't. And next,
No.
we have here's a question from. We didn't get too many YouTube community posts that we hadn't already had an answer question for elsewhere. So here's from the YouTube community, which is that little tab on the top of our YouTube channel that I guess most people don't know about. This comes from a Fancy E Pants. Wait, well that's how it reads. Fancy E Pants 11. The E is like a giant E. What is the most challenging part of putting together live concerts for audiences? That's a pretty good question because there's so much we could talk about with that. And I think each one of us, has a different thing they got to do.
Absolutely.
How about you guys start first? Because I think I have a lot more of the
technical stuff,
and I'll speak for Steve.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest as a live performer is that like in my head and in everyone else's head, this is like this might be the only time someone ever sees you perform. So there's an amount of anxiety that leads like 2-3 weeks up before a show that just says, don't get sick, don't mess it up, like you got to be perfect on the show, because what if somebody sees you one time and then that's their opinion of you for the rest of their lives? Like, oh, that guy, he's the worst, like his voice cracked and he wasn't funny and da.
Our draft, it's okay because they might not like you, but there's two other performers.
We can go somewhere else. You're right, but
like Brian,
yeah.
he was all sick, and I didn't like his whole character that was sick and couldn't sing songs. That wasn't funny.
I think that's the hardest thing about live performance in general. Is that fact that it might be the one time forever for this one person.
It's best just not to think about it at all.
Yeah,
you can help it.
Yeah, it is.
Technically, I think sometimes playing the instruments is really hard for me. Like if I get too like excited or anxious, then all my motor skills go away. So like playing is really hard. If I'm into it, I'm really loose. That's always the hard part for me, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's other things, but like the more you do it, it's just like it gets easier. Like it used to be, oh, the lights in your eyes, or oh, the sweating, or oh, the costume. It's like you just kind of get over it and find your groove. So from a technical standpoint, I mean, I'm pretty much just trying to just play the right notes and hit the right notes. But I'm sure David has a lot more to say.
I echo all that kind of stuff that you guys said. As far as like stuff outside of the performance, that's like the stuff I guess we all have to, find our own groove with rehearsals and the live show and stuff. But then there's the other side of it, which is actually putting together shows. Sometimes when we put on our own shows, I mean, it's way more work for us to set up our own shows, rent venues, cover the insurance, rent all the equipment that we might have to if it's out of state. And that can be profitable for the company for sure. But it is a little bit less stress when we have a venue or an event that can take care of most of that stuff. And then we get a little less profit, of course. But there's a lot that goes into it. Like good examples are our upcoming Portland show where we have to cover all that stuff with ticket sales and stuff. So we have to plan the artwork, the posters, like VIP badges and stuff, get everything manufactured, figure out what merchandise we're going to bring based on sales previously if we've been in the area before. Because, every item that's weighs something is something we might not want to take, depending on if it sells or not. And we're pretty small, so this isn't like, oh, it'll work out in the next few shows. We do like pretty much, we go travel out to a show and then come back. So, I do have help with Chelsea and stuff, and I am able to run contracts and stuff by Bunny and all that, and of course the rest of the band to make sure that everyone's on the same page. But yeah, there's a lot of prep work for a show, and it seems like it always feels impossible every time you have to do it. But when you work with a theater more than once, it gets easier because then they're the way they go about things, which mostly it's all the same. But sometimes different contracts and stuff, and you got to abide by them and. Yep. Sometimes charting out seating stuff.
Part,
yeah, it really is.
Like, that's like
it's also
most people would have like other people do the stuff for it, but we're small and the less people we have to pay, the more The more
yeah,
the more we can
you
stretch
gotta
our
make
dollar.
it work yourself.
Stretch your dollar, because most of our income
Yeah.
comes from fans like you who support Steam Powered Giraffe. So we're pretty. I mean, if we ever get to the point where it makes sense to have that kind of stuff, sure. But since we only put on so many dozen shows a year or 5 or so, it's definitely worth doing it ourselves until it makes sense for us not to. Especially if we have the knowledge to do that. And there's probably tons of stuff that Steve could say with the tech side of stuff, but I mean, he's basically doing lights, projection, and sound mixing for the live show and our in-ear monitors all at once. He's like one person for all that, which you could probably have a separate person for each one, but that's just his own talents and what he wanted to add to the show. And we encouraged him, and it works pretty well for the most part.
Yeah, he does a great job.
And should we ever find the popularity and funds to expand, of course we would. But we only do like 5 shows a year or so, and this year 1. we did it. Already. I'm just kidding. We don't know the Portland's still in limbo. If anyone's wondering,
sure.
But we'll update.
It's
everyone
not
on
looking
that.
good, but
Based
we'll
on
see.
I mean they've canceled every show up till April 8th, but that was about a few weeks ago. So. We'll see what happens.
I don't know.
Let's move on to more questions. Okay, here's some from one from Facebook. This one comes from Idlewild Sammy. A tech guitar question for David. Love your raw, simple, jangly guitar sound. Wondering if you've ever played a Rickenbacker. Would flow perfectly with y'all's Hofner bass. I'm sure the Beatles
Oh,
would
the
agree.
Rickenbacker.
Cheers and
Orville
thanks for the good
Rickenbacker.
times, friends. Sammy. Thanks for the question, Sammy. Okay, so on stage we have usually we have a guitar for rhythm, and we have a bass, guitar, and when we have a backing musician, which we have had more recently, electric guitar and keyboard, and of course we do have mandolin and banjo. Sometimes it depends what songs we're playing, and melodica, we do have that on stage too still. But for the guitar that I use, most of the stuff I play, we wanted to use an acoustic guitar, which we started out with. Maybe for about 4 years, I used an archtop guitar, which has a little more of an electric sound, but I strung it with acoustic strings, and that kind of worked. But then I decided to get the A1 from Godin, which is kind of like their multi-tack model. And if you're not sure what all that is, it's basically, if you've heard an acoustic guitar that has like a pickup in it, an acoustic dash electric, but the guitar I use now is an electric dash acoustic. It's an electric guitar that can sound like an acoustic. So I string it with acoustic strings, and there's a good example. When Sam was in the band, he would need to play some lead guitar that was kind of rhythmy, but he'd want to overdrive it and stuff. So this guitar can do either of those sounds, and he could just switch over, and pretty much it would play like an electric, and it still would.
It is pretty sweet.
And you can dial it in. We found a good setting that kind of worked for any song. So we kind of like that because it gives us the sound of an acoustic pretty well on stage, without the feedback and drawbacks of it. And of course, it can be used as in a pinch as a backup for an electric if we ever needed, if that's what's in our set. So
good.
yeah. So
I
as
like
far as Rickenbacker goes and stuff for rhythm guitar and stuff, electric guitars, that would work for some songs. And I don't know. I mean, I can imagine in a time if Steam Powered Giraffe had some funds and enough shows that it would make sense for us to have multiple guitars and ship them out. But
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because then we might just have an acoustic guitar on stage too, like we used to when we did busking. But for now, it's all about like if we can take one less instrument, it's totally worth it. Because I mean, that's like $150 back and forth if we had to fly somewhere.
That's a lot.
And I mean, I guess if you're talking like, those are kind of the numbers that we're looking at. Is like, yeah, that ends up being like $800 at the end of the day if we had to take all our luggage and stuff with us on a flight or something. And plus, space is limited even if you're not flying.
Yeah.
So, good question. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm doing all the questions.
Yeah, I was like, we don't have any answers.
And that's it.
Although I do like Rickenbackers, they're nice guitars.
These aren't in any order, so if I say any that are like only one of us can answer, it's not because I read them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one from Twitter. Let's see. Nads at Hey Youngbleed asks, all of the bots have such interesting character designs. What was the process like that led to the final characters' names? Oh no, there's no comma there. To the final character names, designs, and personalities. I think we can all say a little bit about this one. This is a good question. Bunny, you want to start since I just rambled on?
Yeah, it's I mean, it definitely was influenced by the actors primarily. I want to say like we always choose the characters and stuff by, working with the actors. So like obviously when we first started, it was each of us like what kind of robot we wanted to be. I was like, I kind of want to be industrial, steampunk, but steampunk hadn't exactly taken off then. It would, but like once I put on the goggles, it was like immediately I was like, yep, this is Rabbit. So I want to do like an old timey one. So like aesthetic wise, it was pretty just like, what do you kind of see? And then after that, it's just about the personalities. What is the easiest you to be? Because you're going to be out here busking on the streets, or you're going to be in front of a bunch of people. You need to feel at least slightly comfortable. So I think there's just these exaggerated versions of ourselves. David and I honed it on the streets. Brian obviously has like such a colorful black background. I almost said blackground.
I mean, I do have a
That
nice
would also
background as
be-
well.
That would also
Yeah, so
work.
mine's obviously like a high energy kind of oh yeah, it's the rabbit started out like this and hey, I don't know what he sounded like back in the day, but now it's more like Harley Quinn, a little bit better like that. Mr. J, Mr. S. Oh, that's creepy. Yeah, so that's I mean, I can talk about Rabbit all day. Obviously you guys found your own characters. Rabbit is a little bit of Danny Elfman mixed with like SpongeBob, mixed with like I don't know, Dick Van Dyke, just clumsy and breaking down and yeah, usually a comedic relief character, but depending on who our third robot is, that dynamic kind of shifted. Like John was definitely like a very childlike character, and the bits that we would get into would be very like and then with Sam, he was more of an aloof kind of character, I guess. Not aloof, what was Sam's like or Hatchworth, I guess, more childlike, but not like very different from John. So I think there was kind of a drier darkness that with our jokes and bits just because of Sam's brain. And then with Brian, and
Who knows? Who knows what it is? But it's something, all right. Yeah. Should I go next?
Sure.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that Buddy had a lot of hand in creating the character design for Zero. At least, like for the makeup and the costume. So it was nice having that kind of view on it, because I have artistic view that you have. So I got
nice
suited.
jumping off point, right?
Yeah. And the gold, like you kind of tried some makeups on, and the gold kind of just works.
So well.
Yeah,
We hadn't had a gold-faced robot in a while.
Yeah, I think my skin tone kind of makes that gold pop a little bit, as well. So I mean, once I got the makeup on and I saw the dynamics, it was easy to kind of figure out where to fit in as the third kind of act. I'm a big fan of old school like comedy, so like Three Stooges and stuff like that was always my favorites growing up. So just seeing the dynamic between Larry, Curly, and Mo, like, those are like very, very specific things,
Okay,
and they
who's
change. I know, right? But that's the thing. It's like it can change
on
on any on any bit. It could change a bit. But the thing that I liked about Larry is the fact that he's very serious about like his stupidity. He wants to be a Mo and wants to control, but he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know anything. And I think that kind of innocence is kind of where Zero comes. Is like he just doesn't know. He's kind of ignorant. And going off of Sam and John's past characters, past relationships, it was those younger aspects and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of echoing on what Bunny said. For the spine, we had, we did it. We created so many dynamics just doing improv and stuff together. and being in some acting classes and mime classes together. So for me, I guess that just turned from like maybe the first idea was like used car salesman, very presentational, like not necessarily leader of the band or anything like that, but just the one that would be the welcoming talking person, the talking head basically of the dynamic.
The more down to earth character.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense anyways. If you've seen like if you knew John in person or anything. I mean, Bunny could take.
Well, in like
anything
comedy, it's
too,
called the
but-
straight man. You know.
Yeah.
Spino's definitely always the straight man more often than not.
Yeah. So and that just playing to that like I mean, you can only go so far much with like a pre-canned speech or something. So and we just fall into that. Everyone's a little disappointed with each other, or maybe I guess the spine is with it. Like this is not going the way I imagined. I imagined this to be in a real show, but instead it's not, and that's basically what I keep in my mind. Like
You don't have to get the spines. You don't have to hear the spine talk. You just have to hear him sigh to know his character.
I mean, some shows are worse than others. Sometimes I dig into it a little bit much, but I think that's just how I'm personally
I love it
feeling.
when spine is just like. It's just,
that's
the best moment.
We do change up that dynamic a little bit for some
For
of the bits
sure.
on stage.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
our newest ones
For
that we only
sure.
got to do once for our one show this year. I think there's actually a good question coming up about that we can say, or maybe that wasn't. Anyways, there's a bit that was pretty funny where the spine's like afraid of a giant wrench. So
Yeah, the spine does become the silly one, especially like you'll get like obsessed with something or like he's like really into something and then he'll start it's like it's just an act, right? He's not really just always the straight man. He also
Yeah.
has
it's
his own
also
little
weird
quirks and
for
stuff.
us too because like we can't really our live show is for that audience, and it's not like we never can't really play it like if people saw all of our shows there would be like a reoccurring stuff. Of course there are if you see it multiple times, but like it's almost like we've discovered the characters over a season of a show that literally no one else can see all of, So
Yeah.
even though we keep the show like pretty, digestible, except for something like unique, like the 10-year show, which there is a lot of in jokes. Still, like our characters have developed in because we've been able to play with them on stage. So, we don't really bring up past things or anything on stage, but it's just like the moods of all the characters and stuff. You just kind of know.
Yeah, I think we
And-
know him pretty well.
Yeah, and I think that allows the dynamic shift to happen whenever it needs to. Whenever it calls for somebody to be the straight act or whatever. Like it's very easy to turn into that. It's like we all have our silly moments, we all serious moments.
I think there was a moment where David had to change some strings, so it was like me and you, and then like immediately, like I think I went to be the straight man, and I was like, "Here, I'll just like give it to Brian. You're already on a roll." Like, and then we can switch it.
Who's on fire? It's like who's doing the improv right? Like
We don't. I don't think about it consciously. It's
Yeah,
just like
it happens.
it's
It
great.
happens
It's just that
naturally,
chemistry
yeah.
and doing it so much.
2 people on stage is pretty good, but 3 people is the golden number, and 4 is a crowd. Too many.
Yeah,
Basically.
4 is
Agreed.
too many.
And
4
that's not
is
to say
way
that you
too
can't make
much.
that work, but like, there's always that 4th person or one of the 4 is literally has to like take a step back,
Be silent.
and it's just very much like
And that happens with the third sometimes too. But like I don't know, it works a little better
because you can change the dynamic with 2 people. It's hard to just go like that all the time. It's easier to go.
Yeah. But and also because we break the fourth also so often, the 4th character is the audience. So it's like the minute that the third character gets out of place or like is not in the scene, they immediately connect. It's like it's a I don't know, easy cool dynamic, I think.
If anyone's
It's not to
listening
say
to
that
this
you
thinking,
couldn't make 4 characters work.
so you're
obviously.
never gonna have a 4th robot. I'm like, well,
It just doesn't make sense. Like it just doesn't.
The
Make
4th
any
robot
sense.
is you.
and and the tried and true thing has been 3. Like Upgrade Aaron Burke did start this Balboa Park with us, but she wasn't able to make most of the performances sometimes. So
If the 4th character was like a mute character or something that it's almost like it would almost be like a Michael Reed role. Maybe you could probably get away with more bits, but like they kind of need to fall into the back but I don't know. Like that was Mike's choice. Like we could have easily done like something more engaging, but it's like
and you can see the 10-year show
it just
we
would've been
tried
harder.
to make it when the guest characters would come on, like they were the focus, and then it was like us and them compared to like it's way harder to have that many dynamics going back and forth. Especially with people, if you've never seen these characters before, it's not like you know them. And I don't think the 10-year show tracks as well as the normal show.
Anything's possible, I guess. But it's not like we can make these decisions like on the fly.
Yeah.
Like if we stuck to a script, yes, maybe it would be better.
If we did a long improv, we did a little town, okay? We really established the characters.
Oh, but even in improv games like that, you usually are
it's two people, 2 to 3
people.
people. Like rarely do you do scenes unless you're switching, unless you're saying, all right, 2 people now, 2 people then, maybe 3 people, and then 2 people later, or then 4 people altogether. But you still have to establish those characters, and if you don't, then that fourth character, and then nobody gets fleshed out. You're spending too much time focusing on nonsense. So
let's these are great. Here, let's have a little. Great questions. I mean, answers. Whatever. We're okay.
Terrible answers, but great questions.
Here's another one from Instagram. At Sophanathan asks, Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, or Ghostbusters?
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, they're all great, but like honestly, Ghostbusters was when I was a kid. Like David and I would watch more of that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because it was on more.
And also the movies and stuff. I think Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters was Bunny and I's like.
They're right. Yeah, me too. Thundercats right out.
Wait, was Ninja Turtles one of the options?
Yeah, Ninja Turtles, Thundercats.
Oh, okay. Ninja Turtles, we were so into that.
Yeah.
Action figures, the movies, cartoon. Same with Ghostbusters.
And they both still hold up. Like I enjoy watching both of them still as an adult.
I think Thundercats was it's slightly too old for us.
Yeah. It's like 10 or 10 years before our time, I think, maybe. Kind of.
Not really. It was still in
never mind.
syndication or reruns.
It was for the last generation of kids, really.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Ghostbusters. I'm putting my foot down. I'm saying Ghostbusters.
I don't know. I think Ghostbusters because they're human, so maybe that was like a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
a little connector.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters was great because we idolized them, but we didn't care that they were like buffoons or anything. Like I don't know. Like Ghostbusters were cool because they were just like people, and they had these awesome this awesome technology.
As a kid, that's all you care about. Like who's the turtle with the 2 knives or whatever the heck they were.
Or the stick.
The stick. I mean,
it's great though.
The bow staff. Donatello. He's the best.
Another question from Facebook. Rien. How would you pronounce that? Oh, they just say it. Ryan Duplessis asks, hi, Steam Powered Giraffe. I have a couple questions for you. I guess this is the one that we picked from it. I haven't seen Gigi the Giraffe lately. Can she come say hi? Okay, so we only took one question from there. I should have read the whole question. I haven't seen Gigi the Giraffe lately. Can she come say hi?
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say she's in quarantine with Steve.
I mean, technically, she's held up with Steve right now.
Our sound engineer.
But here, let me replicate what it would be like to have you.
Well, Gigi, I hear you finally got your dry cleaning from us when we went and got it for you. How does your
I did. It was absolutely delicious. Yo.
Wait.
Gigi, they spent hard-earned time cleaning those clothes. You ate them?
I know. That's why it's funny.
Gigi the Giraffe, ladies and gentlemen. And others.
And the other characters.
There you go. Hey, another question from
voice only a
Instagram.
mother could love.
What are some fun things you've been doing this quarantine? How has it made you guys feel?
I mean, this was pretty fun during the quarantine.
And this question is from at Tyler Mall. Or Tyler Mall.
Oh.
Tyler Mall.
We played Jenga.
No, Tylenol, like a drug, Tylenol.
Like a Tylenol.
I'm terrible with
What about Tylenol?
That's their username.
That's
sorry.
their username.
Is the question how much Tylenol we take?
What are some fun things we've been doing this quarantine?
Hiking and Jenga and puzzling and video gaming.
Yeah.
Also, like getting actual physical rest. I was like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
I feel good.
You're a pretty go
Feel
go
good.
get 'em kind of person, and
Yeah,
you're never
for
stay
sure,
still for
for
too
sure.
long.
So it was
Video games have been a big part of it. I've been playing a lot of Dauntless, working on that season pass.
Oh, shoot, nice.
What else? I mean, there's so many video games I've been playing. I'm looking forward to the Fallout 76 Wastelanders, even though like I know it's kind of a joke game, but like they're adding
If you
human
enjoy
NPCs.
it, yeah.
That'll be fun. So like I've been playing Elder Scrolls, working my way through the Catlands, the Talking Cat. And yeah, and streaming. Like streaming is cat vanity. This is like the closest I can get to being on stage, you know. I love it. It's just I need an audience.
Shoot, I know.
Besides
So
not
crazy without a
not being able to do the show because I was sick and stuff, not much has changed for me. So I'm lucky in that sense because I'm doing the same work that I was doing before the quarantine, which is staying at home in front of a computer, mixing stuff. Obviously, there's some challenges now with recording and stuff, but some fun things. I mean, I usually spend half the day working and half the day playing a video game. And my roommates, everyone, a lot that I know, basically went and got Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, nice.
So I've been
It's pretty fun.
playing that with them when they do their dungeons and stuff.
I gotta catch up. You guys are bypassing me.
Yeah, we're almost done with Stormblood, and roommates are Chelsea and Camille are almost starting Heaven's Ward, which is the expansion.
Oh,
It's so good.
It's
Heaven's Ward is
the
so
best
good.
one so far. Stormblood's kind of forgettable,
Dragons.
but still better than the main story quest.
I mean, I hear Shadowbringers was like really
Yeah.
good, so I mean, we're all
Shadowbringer.
excited to go there. I should really play more. I do love. One thing I'll give Stormblood is that the music's really pretty,
Yeah. I mean the
and
quality
the
is
visually
very
it's
well.
pretty.
But there's some fun games coming out. What? I haven't touched Doom, but I Animal Crossing, playing a little bit of that.
Heck yeah.
Final Fantasy VII remake coming out too.
Oh, Barrett,
Heard
right?
the demo was pretty boss.
Oh yeah, you can play the demo right now if you want on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Pretty much other than that, I think I've been spending a lot more time with Chelsea and Camille, the roommates, because
That's good.
it seems like we're watching a lot.
Because
More
you guys
movies.
are stuck together now.
Well, yeah, they usually go out and have a job outside of the apartment. So
But
Yeah.
they've all been staying
so
in
that's
too,
changed
gosh.
for me. But
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough
you
that I can do all my Steam Powered Drafts from home. Anyways, I'm
Has
just not
anyone
able
been
to hike
taking
anymore.
walks? You said you were hiking, Ryan?
Yeah. So like, if you could find a place that's not like a national park and stuff like that, but like your neighborhood, like just
Yeah.
neighborhood and stuff,
I
They're
haven't left-
advising it.
I haven't left the
Yeah.
house since probably the week before last.
I check
Yeah.
the mail and it's always like, or you got the garbage. you're like,
Sunshine.
We,
back inside.
Chelsea and Camille will go together because we toned it down to shipping Steam Powered Draft merchandise once a week. So, we
That's
want to
good.
make
That's good. Yeah.
reduce exposure, but also we know it's like, well, people definitely need their stuff that they order for fun times while they're locked up or whatever. But it's only once a week now, and we usually check the mail at the same time too. So we try to reduce the exposure, and they got gloves and stuff, so that helps.
Yeah, but
Those aren't fun things, though.
Who's not who can't be stuck inside, Like,
Seriously, though.
you guys are great. My girlfriend works. She's a farm tech, and yeah, it could be nerve-wracking every time she works almost 7 days a week now, sometimes, and that's
Yeah.
really tough. And
A lot of people get overloaded.
very concerned, but hopefully I'm crossing my fingers that doesn't get exposed.
Here's another question from Facebook from Caitlin Clough. For all members, what is an animal/piece of iconography? Iconography? Is that a word? Iconography. Thank you, Chelsea. I don't know English. That you deeply associate with yourself. Also, is there one that you would associate with your character too? So this is a pretty open-ended question. What thing or animal basically do you associate with yourself or your character?
Okay.
Interesting.
I think immediately I'm a lizard or a bat.
Dope.
Like I think a combination. I really like lizards and bats, just because I like anything that is like misunderstood, and I like that. I gravitate towards themes and ideas and symbols about sort of things that might be considered creepy or wrong, like spiders and stuff, and finding their, that, just because something looks
Nice.
scary doesn't mean it's scary.
For true. I'm gonna go with the obvious choice, probably like a bear. Not just because I'm a large individual, but also
Okay, some
because...
things that look scary are scary.
yeah, but they're also smart. It's like they're smart animals. They're not like you surprised about. But they can also be very loving. Depends on what they are. But they're kind of solitary. I kind of get that. Plus, like
They're
in the
kind
morning,
of Salisbury.
they're kind of Salisbury sticks. So solitary.
Solitary. That's
Kind of
right.
solitary. Also, in the morning, I salmon and like nuts and berries for breakfast, like every break. So I feel like I have a very bearish diet. Like, I just open it up and
I don't know if anyone else is just waiting for like a Yogi or Boo Boo imitation, but
let's go get some picnic baskets.
I can't wait to scare these people in the park.
I can't do Boo Boo.
Yeah, what is he said? That's like face. Master, yes.
Oh,
Yes, Yogi, yes. Oh, boo boo. Yes,
let's
Yogi.
steal them picnic baskets. Huh?
Yo, boo boo, what's the matter with you? So creepy.
So, anyways,
Hey, does anyone else
mine would
remember the crazy Yogi Bear from Adult Swim? It was like Mississippi Yogi Bear.
No.
I vaguely remember. I mean, they did.
I vaguely remember it too, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen it. Sorry, go ahead.
I think mine would be a dinosaur, like a raptor.
Oh no!
Not that I feel like I know what this animal's like in real life, or from Jurassic Park or something like that. But it's just been like a thing. Obviously giraffes too, but less so now that it's such a staple of my life.
Endangered animals.
But yeah, as far as like character goes, like spine and stuff, I'm not invested that much into the character to kind of know what it would be a joke, you know what I mean? Like if I had to come up with something, it'd be like an ice cream cone because, and then spine would have some ridiculous explanation that doesn't make any sense, only to a robot maybe. Like it would just be another vehicle for a joke. So I don't have anything serious with that to say. Oh, and just so people are aware, because we're not taking any questions from the actual chat for this live stream. We've taken them from social media that we've asked over the week. Though I do see a lot of people who have put some questions in donations. And if you are waiting for that, I'm going to take a time to go do those, and I'll try to answer. We'll try to answer as many as we can from there, since y'all donated some funds for us. So just hang on, and we'll get to those questions. Hopefully at the end or something.
Oh my god, that was so hard. My arm is killing me.
Thank you,
you get applause, bro.
We have quite a lot of questions to get through, so I'll try to. Hopefully, some of these are more rapid fire, but we'll see. We might not get through all of them either, which would be fine.
We will, and we will.
I keep putting the text, like how long people can talk in their message, but the window that Streamlabs has a limit. So, but it doesn't match up with what they can type. So I'm trying to find what the actual limit is because people's text keeps getting cut off. Whatever. It's the first stream we've done it, so who knows? This is Kindy from Twitter at Kindy64. What has been the hardest thing about running Steam Powered Giraffe? Running Steam Powered Giraffe.
Oh, running.
Well, I think
Bunny
what
and
you
I
just
both
said
have
that going.
What you said earlier about all the technical stuff, that's got to be pretty hard.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we have to set up anyways for shows. As far as financial stuff, we do merchandise. I would just say everything. There's just, of course, we delegate stuff to the Penyacs, and we do have a CPA to help us with taxes and stuff. But there's just
the day-to-day stuff. I mean,
it's just like any other normal job. I would say.
Well, let's say they maybe met like the show itself, like after all that, and I would say the makeup is always the hardest, but it's always the most appreciated and looks really cool.
It does,
but it's a lot of work.
Brian,
The
you got
most
anything to add
difficult
to
thing?
that? What's difficult in running Steam Powered Giraffe?
About running Steam Powered Giraffe? No, I don't because I don't run.
Okay.
And that's what I like about
Running Steam Powered Giraffe, I'm not sure, but like
Yeah.
doing the performance, the makeup
Yeah, that's
can be
challenging,
heavy,
for sure.
you know. Yeah,
For
you gotta
sure.
kind of center yourself. I think a lot of people I don't like being covered, you know, like that. It's not super comfy, but we've just been doing it for so long, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really even think about it.
Yeah, I would say
Before the show, yes.
So that's very true. As far as running, I'd say 90% of my time is spent doing businessy things, and the other 10% is the fun stuff that we all get to do sometimes, and not as much now with the quarantine. But yeah, I think it's just like any other business. If you're, we wear a lot of hats for anytime, even Bunny, when we have to do like artwork and stuff like that. Some of it can be fun, of course, and gratifying for sure. But there's a lot of mundane things that anyone could do, but you know we're small enough that it doesn't make sense to hire someone to do most of the stuff. So
It's not the rock star life you think it is.
yeah, no, I mean pull our weight.
Half
as much
our
as we
work
can.
is just behind the scenes and goes underappreciated. You know, like it's a lot of work.
It's like if you were trying to be the accountant, the supplier, or manager. We just wear a lot of hats because it's our own company, and I don't have to pay myself for work like that. And like most small businesses, you know, I think it kind of goes that
Steam
same
Powered
way.
Giraffe hands out like 15 attaboys a week, so you just gotta divvy
Attaboy! Attaboy!
Attaboy.
You
Instagram.
extra quota. You put that back.
Here's another question from Instagram at Cart Thunder. Asks, how do your parents feel about you being in a band? So not just Steam Powered Giraffe, but in a band. So Brian, since you're in 2 bands right now,
Oh,
right?
my parents are super supportive of everything. They enjoy both the bands actually. So yeah, my parents are very supportive. I'm very lucky in that fact. But either way, if they didn't do it. But yeah, they were very supportive. I'm very lucky individual.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bunny and I, I'm estranged from our birth mother, but our stepmom and
My dad said he was proud of us when we were back in high school and we were doing.
He
doing
is
shows.
proud of you too. I see him after the show. Very, very much proud of you too.
Our parents are.
It's cool.
They
It's
love
cool
our
to see.
music and like
Yeah.
they're super supportive and couldn't ask for like better on that front. They're always
Yeah.
they might be tuning in now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
but yeah,
Hi
they're
mom, hi dad.
they're super supportive of us. And I think, I mean, just growing up, I think a little bit of that has to do with the weird divorce we went through and stuff. With our mom and dad, but they like since we weren't on our mom's side, it was very much a lots of support for the creative stuff that we had shown interest in, and I think we came out of our shells after the divorce too, because we weren't under the thumb of our birth mother, who was pretty crappy to us in our childhood. So
I think
now it's so nice.
Forged us.
It's so nice to have that support now, because it's basically.
Yeah.
You can flip that switch to being like, oh wait,
There
I've
was
been an
nothing.
adult.
I don't think there was anything
forever.
else you really would rather have done. Finding a way, falling into a way to actually do our passions, probably seemed like it was not gonna happen, or it'd be kind of hard.
Oh, nice to meet you. All right.
I don't usually
Pretty
drink
good,
Dr.
all
Pepper.
right.
Oh, is that
The
the excuse?
carbonation. I was like, oh shoot, I'm still
Whoa.
like a little foggy. from
Have
the
I
gas.
got a beverage
That's a
for you?
spicy one.
Water. Water.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well,
I've got water.
I
It's
have
not a
water
very
too.
good. It's not a very good reason. But
Sorry. The carbonation.
so yeah, there's that thing with parents of you're like, wait, when is someone gonna hand me the keys to adulthood? And it doesn't happen. Just
Yeah,
one
no.
time we were out, we were doing Balboa Park. Oh, this is fun, kind of scary. And then the next we're owning our own business and having to throw things together. And you can't put it like this is the day that it happened. It's just such a slow growth. So
It's a series of decisions you make over
I
time.
I
And
think,
one day-
One day it happens, and I think it was great that David and I got to go through that together. And I don't know where I'd be without him and his technical mind. But I think it was mostly just you just get forced into these roles, and you're just okay. Time to. I used to be the booking agent, and I wasn't very good at that. But I started it, and then we started like, finding things that made more sense.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, you just do what because of what needs to get done, and
Yeah,
luckily,
totally.
luckily the two of us had.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, and we didn't have experience with it, but we dove into it head first.
Totally.
Facebook. Here's a question from Facebook. Mariah Peck asks, "What kind of hat does Spine wear? What has been your favorite prop to use in the show?" Okay, so I can answer that first one. It is a wide-brimmed sea-crown fedora. My current one is made by Optimo Hats in Chicago. I used to have a
I
very...
mean, your answer is great and all, but it's wrong.
Okay. So that's so yeah, but the ones before that were made from Beaver Brand Hat Company, which is no longer in business. So I had one of the last runs that they did before they went out of business.
It was a very nice top.
And when I told Optimo that, because I was trying to recreate the spine hat, they said, "Oh, we actually bought some equipment from them when they went out of business."
Cool.
So
That's awesome.
very expensive hat. I was like, "Wow, am I really gonna pay money for this?" And it's really nice. And now I treat it way better than the other hat. Like it's one of those hats that like.
So you
if
said
we-
is that what your favorite prop is?
No.
Wow.
This was
Is
the
that the
first.
question?
This was the first question. What is the Spine's hat?
I didn't know
sorry.
I didn't know you had favorite hats. I kind of judge you.
I don't have a
I
favorite
want to be
hat.
that guy.
I just
No,
need-
you just said it. You just said it. You said you treat that hat a little bit better than you treat your other hats.
because
No,
the
you
other
just said-
hats were.
No, you just said-
The other
you
hats
need to go.
were.
You need to go comfort your other hats right now.
You need to go right. You wear the other hat right now.
They're
just so
old. They're sun bleached. They have their makeup. They lose their. Anyways, this other hat will last quite a bit longer. The other ones
What's your
were-
favorite prop that's not one of your priceless fedoras?
With the giant wrench. No, I like the giant wrench, but because we've had a few. The first giant wrench a fan gave us that they made it. Them and their family, I think, and then it kind of got beat up as we were. So we had another one commissioned by Gabby Gonzalez, who she does a lot of work for movies and stuff right now, but it was made out of foam and it actually separates in half.
interlocks.
So
It
we
was
can
cool.
we can store it better.
Wasn't
and-
hers even bigger?
It was. We were like, can we make it bigger so that and then it can just like snap in half, and
Whatever happened to the old wrench?
it's probably at Steve's or something.
Yeah, we could have
Or-
2 wrenches.
Yeah, I have no idea where it is. But I like these props we got just for the new bits that we were doing, but we don't have any shows, so it doesn't matter. Their blue lights for air traffic control,
We did it once, right?
and it's literally just to get the wrench out on stage, like it's big, giant. It's already a big wrench,
It's worth it.
but it's not an airplane big. So
I like
the joke
giant
works on so many levels.
lollipop. I like the giant foam cowboy hat. And is Gigi a prop? She's great too.
Hey, what about the giant beach ball we did? The
Yeah.
summertime alive.
I still have
that's my
that.
favorite.
In case we're doing another
Giant
live
beach ball.
stream.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, David.
I don't know if
Blow
we
it
could,
up right now.
it wouldn't even fit in the apartment. Maybe it would.
It would too.
Yeah, it's
We
just
just
it's
put a
big. It's not
giant
that
beach
big.
ball rolling
It's really big.
behind
though.
you.
It's big,
You
giant.
can watch that,
things
guys.
are funny.
It was a July stream from a few years ago. We had like a beach party summer stream.
I can't remember if I did Twitter or if I did Instagram last. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pull from the whatever.
Doesn't the beach ball keep growing or something, or it becomes sentient? I can't.
Yeah,
We
we keep coming out with a bigger one.
Beach ball is the
Oh yeah,
We're-
the mayor. The
we're
mayor
looking
of
for the
summer
mayor.
is the beach ball.
but he's the beach ball the whole time.
Or he's a
And then
small
everyone
or-
dies at the end. Remember? Everyone just.
Yeah.
except for the robots. Well, if you haven't watched it, the bit was we had all these dancers come in every
Spoilers.
once in a while just to dance to this generic surf music.
Heat wave.
And then towards the end, it just keeps going on, and it gets hotter and hotter, and the lights turn redder and redder, and all the humans pass out.
And all the random backup dancers that we got just start dying.
And this was a stream that no one watched. I mean, some people.
But we're
did,
still dancing because obviously we're robots.
You can watch it. You can watch it right now if you have time. Go watch that. It's probably the best one of the 3 that we.
I
have
like that
on
one
our
too.
Yeah.
It was funny.
So this next one, Twitter comes from Dan. I don't know. This is, Dan from Twitter at Stretch City asks, "Who are each of y'all's favorite musicians? Who inspired you, and when you first started learning to play?" I'm great at reading questions.
I think it's gonna be for me, Danny Elfman, Oingo Boingo, and then just Queen, Beatles, Yellow, and David Bowie, and Amanda Palmer. There's so many, and I know David has a lot of influences that are the same as mine.
Yeah.
Because that's when we started it. We were definitely like pulling in different, similar kinds of music and sharing music with each other.
Yeah.
Since it'll be roughly the same, you can be last, Brian, if that's okay. Yeah, I'd say Queen, lots of classic rock stuff. Queen, yeah, David Bowie, Bee Gees, harmony, basic harmony stuff. Beatles. I think those are the main like influences, which is kind of weird because it's like, but that inspires everyone.
It really does. But
So-
like that's that's
But yeah,
when
I
you're
mean,
young though. Yeah.
you like
It's all you know.
It is popular music, but yeah, and then you start finding like if you listen to oldies stations all the time, and we did. It was on the radio. Like you just fall in love with that music because that's what music is to you. And as you
Yeah.
get older, you start learning other stuff and like you try to keep up, but yeah, like I don't have like an artist that I can say like as a kid inspired me that wasn't probably a popular artist like Michael Jackson or Beatles. We
I
just
just want to clarify. These days we listen to. I mean, I still listen to those, but like I listen to so much different
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy. Yeah.
What about you,
some
Brian?
Stuff.
Beatles, of course, Beatles and Queen. I think are two really that you two said that I really connected with. Then I'm gonna go like Stevie Wonder, Levi Stubbs, the lead singer from the Four Tops, who also plays the voice of Audrey too, and Little Shop of Horrors, and Buddy Miles, who was Jimi Hendrix's drummer and eventually became lead singer of the California Raisins.
Oh.
Which is I love the California. They were awesome, and Buddy Miles
I remember
is
that.
amazing. They did all this like Motown covers, but with Buddy Miles singing them, and he's just got such a strong, rough but soulful, so like the California Raisins. I was thinking when I was growing up, and Buddy Miles. Now I've learned as an adult was the main reason that I dug him.
Nice.
Yeah, these
And
days
also raisins are pretty good.
raisins are delicious. I used to love raisins. Yeah, these days I like the dirty projections. That's pretty much the band I talk about. Every
The Dirty
opportunity I have.
Projectors. I've heard these.
Nobody else knows about them, so I like to bring them up whenever I can.
I still haven't listened to it. That's not because I don't trust your judgment. It's just
It's
I
okay.
found
If
time.
you hear a band that we just mentioned,
You
hey,
don't have
go
to.
type it in on YouTube and go down the rabbit hole.
This
See what it did there?
next one comes from Facebook. Kimberly Hutchins asked, "Did you really buy that robot for $3,000 on Oddities San Francisco?" Okay, so let's get a little backstory.
Yeah,
for
let's
this.
break that
Go
down.
back
please.
So,
story here. Go for
We
it.
were asked to be on a television show back in the day. So Oddities is a reality show that I think is usually in New York, but they had a San
Yeah.
Francisco version. So they flew us out
Yeah.
to San Francisco because we were twins and they were fans of Steam Powered Giraffe. They didn't ask us to do makeup. It was just supposed to be us. And the premise was that we needed a prop for our show. And they found us this robot made from scrap parts, I think, and maybe about that big. And then we bought it for $3,000.
Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that the reality TV show you did is not based on reality?
It was all fake. We shot it in a day. It was supposed to be like we were supposed to come in multiple times. They had us change shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
So we did shoot some of the stuff like, they show us this tiny little like wind up robot and then the lady's like explaining to us like we don't know what a robot is, and it's like it's supposed to be educational. But it's just like.
Oh.
And then they interspliced other robots they were looking for, and they have these remote control ones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we
We
would
would've
have went
bought
with
that.
those because they're awesome. Like, what are we gonna use this? Like, don't get me wrong, the robot is nice. It's a nice piece of art, but they rented it.
It's
for the
from
day.
it's from like a gallery.
Yeah.
Or it was.
And it's like I don't think it was for sale anyways. And even what would we do with it on stage?
Also,
We
where
could
would we
drive
get
around a remote
$3,000?
control.
Also, why didn't they buy it and give it to you? They're
Yeah.
the questions I have.
Well,
as
we
well,
didn't
So.
we didn't have any. You know, the directors and stuff for the day would just come in whoever's available, we
Yeah.
didn't have any input on it, but our humor was able to get across, and every take we did, like it was just infused with it so much, and to see what they used was like, hey, that's pretty good. They whoever was editing this realized the jokes we were trying to make, and I think we were the funniest that I've seen on one of those shows.
Honestly, I thought since that day that we'd be good on television with our own
for
show.
sure, for
Like it
sure.
was like this is so much easier than I thought.
We did
Like-
play a song, Honeybee, for them, but they decided like, no, this is going to eat too much time, and of course, why would they break in the episode to let us play a song that no one knows, or even if someone did know it.
Well, they could have known after that, but
Well,
They cut
were,
out our hoarders joke because that was like a rival on a different station. We had like well they were gonna first have us on hoarders, but
and they were like, then they
Oh.
stopped and they were like, yeah, we can't use that take because or something like that.
I kept looking at the camera like the audience was a character, and I'm like, sorry, I'm not used to it. I can't pretend that there's not this giant camera right in my face.
No. Well, they're used to using people who aren't actors, so it's like number one, not really good at improv. So when you put them in a situation and go 3 times in a row, it just gets awkward because you're like, oh, and now I've got this question. How
So-
about this question?
So
You
all
know,
we got
it's
out
like,
of it, we got some Chinese food for lunch, and they flew
Oh,
us back
sweet.
and forth in a day. And
Was
that
it
good
Chinese
that was
food?
it.
I remember it being Greek, but maybe I'm wrong.
You're right. Maybe it was Greek.
same. They're very similar.
It could have been
cuisines.
We got to ride in a limo. Fancy.
It was fun for a day.
It was fun. You can go see it probably still.
Is it? I don't think the show is on anymore. But...
I don't think the show's still going.
sure
but
you
it's
can
probably
YouTube it.
Oh yeah,
somewhere.
You can find it.
Yeah.
Let's keep going on with these. Sorry,
We were also on TV. We were on the news as
zombies. Yeah, we were on
when the
news with
IMAX
zombies.
when the first IMAX opened up down here.
Yeah, in Mission Valley
Really?
here in San Diego.
Dope.
Yeah.
They just hired some people. They've every once in a while Steam Powered Giraffe got some weird things like that. Nothing to do with the robots. Like one of the
we were
magazines?
robots on the news, but no one watches them.
no. Oh yeah. When we were performing with the Platt Brothers, they had a show and they were advertising on the news. And
Did you get like I
Sorry.
saw you on the news?
no,
Cut out there for a second.
Oh, I'm saying, did you get did your great aunt call you and say I saw you? It's like
No.
that's the only
No.
people who ever watch.
Well, we got to be zombies on a green screen, and we were like walking on a giant on a map of the city
Dope.
because Resident Evil was coming out, or one of the Resident Evils. And there were just a bunch of zombies on the.
it was fun for the
cool, it
news
was
anchors.
fun.
I don't think anyone watched it, but we definitely have it somewhere up on YouTube. Someone
Yeah.
filmed it.
Our makeup was pretty decent. I liked it. Was fun.
Another question from Twitter. Lucidia at Lucindia Hart. I'm terrible at username.
I'm glad you're reading it, but not me.
Lucinda Hart at Lucinda Hart asks, "Do you guys actually speak Japanese, or did you just learn the words for the Steam Powered Giraffe song?" Okay, so the song they're
Just learn the
referencing
words.
is the Steam Powered Giraffe reprise from MK3, that album.
Funny story. We actually had the guy who worked on the Pokemon translated for Pokemon
And Yu-Gi-Oh.
come in and help us.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
nice.
He's the husband of Carolina, who is a Walter worker, who's also the friends with Sam Luke, who's also my friend and was also in the band. So in that way, we had someone who could do that. So we wrote the song in English, and you can find this on our Engineer Tier site or Patreon. And we actually recorded it in English. And then he tried his best based on phrasing and how he could fit the words in to the beats and stuff with the syllables and stuff to make it somewhat like it. And then he gave us pronunciations for it. And we did okay. I think we do pretty well in the recording because he checked it for us and said, yeah, that's pretty decent. But, obviously there's some errors and people have pointed it out to us. But
I think he's
Yeah.
also done. He's done a number of other shows too. There's the one with the penguin with the hammer. What's that one?
The Penguins of Madagascar.
There's so many things he's worked on that are really cool, and I wish I could cite them for you. But anyways, it was fun working with him, and yeah, but he would just record something so we had some bits that went with the live show, so I had to learn Joseru batete atashi no kotu, which is I'm the girl robot, basically.
I think
if you speak Japanese, it's probably a little bit.
I didn't have to
funky,
learn
but-
anything. I just went Hideo Kojima and stuff like that.
Yours were the joke. I had to say
Oh,
the
Kojima.
joke. Josero batete atashi no koto. I even still have it on my phone if I ever want to relearn it.
We haven't played that song in a while, but when we did anime
Kirby.
conventions, we
I
would
think he
always do
did
it.
Kirby. Yes, Kirby.
That's
yeah,
not
he
a
did
penguin.
the Kirby animated. Well,
Yeah,
the
it
villain
has a
is like
penguin.
a.
What do you mean? King, what's the king? King
Yes,
face.
yeah.
You're right.
He's got
No,
a.
the show is
yeah.
actually really funny. He showed me a couple. He showed us a couple episodes. We're like, oh, this like breaks the fourth wall. It's pretty.
The important
hilarious.
thing is he did it for free for us.
Yeah.
He was more than happy to.
And then we
'cause,
had we had Gabby Gonzalez do sort of an anime inspired art thing for the booklet.
Yes,
So it was really cool.
Instagram at pessimistically optimistic asks, how do you guys not lose motivation from years of doing this and putting in hard work? How do y'all keep doing it?
It's love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an option. It's not like. Well, I mean, probably more questions for you two is for me, but it's like I tell people I work all the time. It's like, I'm probably gonna do this until the day I die. Like I have no reason to retire. Reason to want. This is exactly what I want to be doing, and I would do it no matter what. Yeah.
I think as an entertainer, like it's. I always say I want an audience, but it's because I want to take people's minds off of things. I want. It's not an ego trip for me. It's that I just feel like this was my calling, and it doesn't matter how I do it. I have to do it for the rest of my life. Like I'm not gonna be happy if I can't entertain people.
Yeah, I think it's similar for all of us in that regard. As far as like how to keep motivation and stuff. Well, it helps to have for me anyways, it helps to have a healthy dose of guilt running through your life in some form. Like can't let myself down. Can't let younger self down. Like, I know what it's like to not do this stuff. Like right as I was going through college, I was like,
and the opportunity that we've have is also like don't want to take it for granted. Don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of an obligation now. Not like it's a mutual obligation, but we have something that if we just stopped. Well, for one thing, I don't know. I'd have to find a new work, but we would definitely. It helps to have other people too because I think we all kind of motivate each other. Because I definitely don't come in every day with like a creative mindset. I mean, I try to get in that place. You treat it like a job and just show up and do the work, even if you're not feeling it. I wasn't feeling it yesterday, but I did a ton of mixing. And then some days I'm like, I get really into it, and I'm like, yeah, this is the funnest thing ever. And then other days I'm like,
David and I have said, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and that's it. And some days I'm not into it, and I just do it still because you just treat it like a job.
You just got to. David and I said like if ever robots become so great that this becomes offensive or like it just doesn't make sense to do it anymore, we're gonna have to find something else, and we're just gonna keep going. Like it's not gonna end. I mean, I think in this day and age, I mean, we could do a shift of with our group and still maintain some type of fans, or find. Would we just
ones.
become clowns or mimes or something? I don't know.
It's hard to build. It's hard. It would be hard if you were like we got super famous and then. Whatever that was, we had to keep that way. But I think there's life after.
Robots keep
anything.
working, so as long as technology keeps trailing behind, we got a job.
I like how that's the benchmark, though. It's like as soon as robots become sentient enough to defend it, hey, we're gonna cut it.
They're already playing music. It's not gonna be long, guys.
It's true.
So just a reminder, if any of you are throwing donations our way, we will definitely. I'll be trying to go through those questions at the end of the stream, and we're taking questions that we've already collected from our social media over this last week because we just wanted to make it concise for this stream. Okay, here's another question from Facebook. This comes from Andrew Collins Walker. Do you all have a favorite animated properties? Or do you all have favorite animated properties? They didn't spell it. They didn't make a weird sentence. I just said it wrong. So, favorite animated properties?
I mean, I guess I used to. I've always liked this. I like BoJack. I think that's like probably my favorite animated thing that's going on right now.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's a really really well done show. South Park. I know it's like controversial. I guess that was like what I grew up on back in the day, and I think that Matt and Trey pretty brilliant in that sense, like music wise.
Sorry, Brian, you're cutting out a bit. I don't know if it's just the sensitivity or
It's probably the not so good mic, but yeah. But seeing what they do like on Broadway, musical wise too, is also pretty inspirational. Like what's going on with like his dance comedy style and his type of voiceover work is just beyond. But yeah, I don't know.
I'd echo
I
that.
like all the
Definitely
cartoons.
BoJack. I'm not too big into children's cartoons myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I can watch them, but it's all about what the target audience is, and if I'm not that, then it's hard for me to watch it for too long. But mostly any adult themed cartoons, I can, BoJack is great, and it's one of those things like it doesn't need to be animated. It could be whatever in it, and I'd enjoy it. So
Yeah.
the vehicle.
They've done
is
episodes
whatever.
purely focused on the animation though, which blew
And
my
the
mind.
animation's really good. Like it's there's a humor just in the animation.
The underwater episode is like
Oh, it's so good.
so good.
But to be fair, we're just preaching at the choir because everyone loves BoJack.
I
It's
love
true.
I love all cartoons. I mean, Rick and Morty. I mean, I know it's like, oh, it's like so popular. Don't like it, but like it's such a great combination. Justin Roiland and
Dan Harmon or whatever.
Dan Harmon. Like,
Yeah.
and I love all their work. I love Community and Justin Roiland's going on to do all this other stuff. I love children's cartoons. Steven Universe. I'm all the way back to Chowder, Flapjack. Adventure Time. Bravest Warriors. There's so many. I could just keep listing them. Like I love cartoons.
You know what cartoon I like right now? That's on. I think it's still on. The Amazing Gumball. You ever
Gumball
watch
is
that show?
amazing. Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
love that show. I love the
so
realism
funny.
from it, and it's super smart. I like any show that's like that. If you're placating towards kids, I don't know. It's like I feel like a lot of people dumb things, but like the level that they're getting at, it entertains both kids and adults. Very good levels of comedy.
Gumball is definitely like an art project.
Yeah,
the amount of work they do for it is crazy.
Yeah.
They actually, it has a very similar concept to Regular Show, which I also adore.
I love Regular Show. Yeah,
it's like you take something common and then you put this giant like fantasy mythical universe around it, and it gets crazy. Gumball is really off the walls. Regular Show's a little more down to earth, but Regular Show obviously it's anything but, as they're kind of loaded. And that's kind of like has actually influenced Steam Powered Giraffe, where we're just like it's kind of like that, where it's like you don't want to see the robots like in a fantastical light. Well, maybe you do, but like I always thought it was funny. Like the first Radio Adventures was going to be us going to the dry cleaners, and then we fall into this magical world, which we do. It's like, I
like that stuff.
Yeah, I love cartoons. Like I watch everything. I even watch preschooler cartoons. I'm just like obsessed with like children's entertainment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Miyazaki stuff always is good.
Of course.
I need
But
to use the restroom. I'm gonna take a bathroom
sure,
break. Maybe you could do some questions that don't involve me.
Stuff like Cowboy Bebop, stuff that has like a really cool style and anime and stuff like that.
Dude,
or good storytelling, basically.
Such a good series. They're doing a live action of it, which makes me very nervous. But man, I'm rewatching it. Forgot how.
Yeah, it holds up. It holds up. Like it has a little bit of the anime tropes that kind of like but mostly it's like pretty well done.
I just love the Western style.
Let's see. Let's get through some of these while we wait for Bunny. I'll hold those other questions. Let's see if there's anyone's here. Some questions. So here's from an hour ago. Ribbons on the Streamlabs donation said or asked, big fan here in Scotland. Hot on the Trail is my absolute favorite song. I just like to ask if everyone makes their own costumes or if they are commissioned. So that's a pretty common question. I can answer that one. We have a costumer who does make like the main articles of our clothes. So for me that means the vest. For Brian, it's his jacket shirt thing. And for Bunny, that's her dress. And then everything else is kind of like some of, it might be custom made. Like my dress shirts, they're definitely ordered custom to fit me. And then, of course, I have the different accents on the
stitching, cool red stitching.
Same with my pants and stuff. Like, there can be, they're not commissioned. They're done by a company, but they're not like commissioned in that sense. So we have a lady called Esther Scandunas, who works for like Sideshow Collectibles and has done stuff for what's that studio that did box trolls and stuff. I think she's.
Is
worked
it
with them.
it's not Lycan. It's
yeah, is that right? It's something with an L.
Is it like?
Funny
Yes,
it would be able to say
L,
it.
yeah.
So that's that question. Okay, someone has this. I'm just going to do this question right now because we get so many of the same questions, so I'm trying to like not answer the double ones. But someone on the donation said, "Will you release Lying Awake on the next album, or as a single on the channel?" It would be weird of us not to include that song in the next album. Let's just say that. We definitely will be having that song, and that's all we can say. That's also on Instagram at Opal17 asks, will Lying Awake ever see a studio release? Yeah, it'd be very weird if we didn't. So you can anticipate that in the future. Since we're releasing our next album in waves, and if you haven't read about this, might as well just say it now while Bunny's going to the bathroom. We're releasing our next album sometime in winter 2020, and we're releasing 2 songs pretty much a week back to back every 3 to 4 months. So we've already had 4 songs out, and we've said we're going to do music videos for every single song, which we've done so far, and we will continue to do, except the quarantine has kind of delayed that. So now we're just going to release the songs for the time being on our YouTube, Spotify, and stuff live, the next 2 ones, like a premiere or something, the same day. And then hold off on the music videos till whenever we can actually go and film them again. But we still want to do music videos for them all because we think that's pretty cool. And in a year time when all of it's out, it won't really matter that there was a delay anyways. Everyone will just look back on it and say, oh, here's those songs from that album. So yeah, that's our current plan with that. Good question. Let's see.
Nice.
I'm just going through, making sure any of those donations, we get any of their questions. Lots of lovely stuff that folks have said to us, positive words that you've seen popped up on the stream here. Sorry if some of these longer ones get cut off. I'll find the character limit and input that into Streamlabs in the future. I don't know why, because it's not like I can shrink the text size, but like there's only so much space we can fit on the stream anyways. Lots of nice comments. I'm just trying to see if there's any questions here. Someone hoping that the Portland show doesn't get canceled. No worries, studio fail. If it does, we'll definitely come back to the area. And, of course, you'll get a refund from the venue, of course. Florencia asks after a donation, hey, we love the band. Could you do an acoustic cover in which you are as robots and with Gigi the Giraffe of a Beatles song? And we're like, yeah, maybe. You never know. You never know. And now that Bunny's back, what's the company that Esther has worked for? The one that has done box trolls and stuff like that?
Box trolls?
What company is that?
The one that Esther.
Oh, Leica.
Leica.
Close.
Leica.
We were close.
I said like a werewolf.
Yeah, they're great. I didn't really like box trolls for a number of reasons, but I liked all their other movies.
Oh,
I am the first one that
awesome.
came to my head. Paranorman or
Box Trolls has some good stuff. It's just that's all I have to say about it. But I love Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo's so good.
I haven't seen
Kubo's
Missing Link,
great.
but I hear it's pretty darn good. Coraline, obviously. What else did they do? Paranorman, one of my favorites.
I like
So
Paranorman
good.
a lot too.
I think they've aged pretty well, actually. Paranorman, having some very challenging concepts for a movie back in its day.
For sure.
And Coraline and Paranorman, they still hold up today.
Coraline's like a terrifying movie.
yeah, it's like
terrifying.
it's like baby's first
Brilliant.
nightmare,
That's great.
basically. That's
So good.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
children's.
It's so funny though. I just love how that they find the humor and the creepiness.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
The little gravy train that comes across in the other
Yeah.
world. The other.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'd
so
love
good.
for us
So
to
much
get through all the questions we picked here because we only have like maybe a dozen left, and then we have some. And when you were gone, Bunny, I just went through like a few questions from the donations that weren't like
I saw that. I caught on.
So I'll try to get through these a little quicker because we've been going for about an hour and a half now, which I guess is fine. But after 2 hours, I'm getting pretty tired sitting in a chair. But Instagram at Sarah Han 24601 _ when did you all get into miming? Could you show us some basic things like you do in the Be Your Own Bot panels? Well, since we're sitting right now, we don't have cameras set up for that. We can probably do some of the upper body stuff.
What?
I'm in a box.
So yeah, space work. Sometimes if you take an improv class or anything like that, they'll make you do like here's a cup, or here's a
Delicious.
cup. You drink from it, or a book, basically. So yeah, we do a little bit of that for the show, and it's always one of those things. Do we need a prop for this? We certainly don't. And if we didn't, we would just, we can make that giant wrench appear on stage. But when we can have a prop, it's fun as well.
But also, we don't need a giant wrench. Totally.
Yeah.
Because
Because we can literally, you could not only do we get to mime it, but we can say, "There's a giant wrench," and then, so that kind of helps. I'm just gonna drink my coffee. Well, now you know I'm drinking coffee, so you can assume it's a bug.
I mean, the thing is that we all believe it, so everyone sees it.
Exactly.
It's all about confidence. That's what mine is.
But they probably would like to see some of the robot stuff. What can we do sitting down? Well, let's just all just go into it and let's pretend like we're doing robots, like we normally do. I don't know how well it reads on web cameras and stuff. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're Steam Powered Giraffe, the singing musical automaton. It's a little funny.
And we've been programmed to
Entertain you
this fine evening.
See, I can actually sync up with you guys because yours is coming in at the same time that the stream is singing it. So I'm saying if you guys sing, I can sing my harmonies on top of one of you, at least.
Well, we'll try. We'll try
it. I'm trying to talk at the same time you are.
We'll
try. Anyways.
Boo!
Okay, I think that's just so we can get through the questions. That's a little bit of it. We could, since this quarantine's going on a while, maybe we can actually do one of these live streams and then make it like a be your own bot thing. I don't know. I'm not trying to. Let me just throw all these ideas at you while you're on the spot on a public stream. Anyways, that'd be cool. Maybe in the future, we could do something like that, and then we'll set up our cameras so we can actually see our bodies and stuff. Clothed bodies. I didn't want anyone to think that getting weird. Now it's made it weird because I said something.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one from Facebook. Bella Sophia asks, "Will we be hearing from the Necronaut again, as foretold in Dream Machine?" I'm pretty sure we've already heard.
Could be.
Didn't we hear from him in Quintessential?
Yeah, he wasn't he finally like
Dream Machine was on Vice Quadrant, right? Or was Dream Machine on
didn't he say like
Quintessential?
Look out, Earth? Didn't he say "Look out, Earth" and then laugh maniacally?
Yeah, that was at the end. Dream Machine. So the Quintessential. Yeah, we're probably gonna string that along for another 10 albums. So look forward to that. He's gonna be like, look out at upper atmosphere.
But first, let me get my coffee.
And he's like 100 feet above.
Next album for sure.
I mean, that'd be a very Steam Powered Giraffe thing to do. So we're gonna do it.
Can we do the Necronaut voice?
Can we?
Together? Say "Look out, Earth."
What do I do?
Isn't yours? Yours is the
I
astronaut.
remember.
Mine is like mine is the guy who sang "Toxic Love" at the end of Ferngully. What's his name?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Yeah.
That was my inspiration. Or mixed with Danny Elfman. Look out, Earth.
I don't remember what I did.
Okay, on the count of 3. You just said "Look out, Earth."
Okay, I did it more breathy. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Look out, Earth.
Damn it.
Boo!
No. It's synced up here. It's synced up to me. Since you said it first, it came to me first, and then I sunk up with you, and the stream is seeing my stream, so it's synced up.
So it will work. Okay, one more time.
It's synced up. Yes. It did.
1, 2, 3. Look out, Earth.
Yes, it worked.
Tried.
It worked.
I don't know if that works.
You did. You have to trust me. On my end.
Work on our
I'm
end.
not streaming it.
I don't.
Okay, anyways, we wasted so much time now. No.
You love my toxic love.
Wait, so is that what it would be? Us singing and then you singing like slightly behind us, but the delay would add it up? Because that would be very difficult.
For me,
Okay, next question.
it's me singing normally. You would just have to mute me so it doesn't throw you off. Oh, sorry. My thing was being unplugged. Yeah, you would mute me, and then my voice coming back to you wouldn't throw you off. That's how it would work. Anyways, Instagram, Mean Powered Giraffe asks, how do you guys take care of your faces after hours of being in makeup? That's a pretty easy question. I use baby wash and my hands, and then some makeup wipes if I don't get it all off with that. I don't use anything to exfoliate when I have makeup on my face because I want to be gentle.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I just use like a nice gentle soap, body wash, facial scrub, not scrub. I just kind of, yeah, you just very gently. If you're ever gonna do this metal stuff for cake makeup, like just be gentle with your skin. It'll come off.
Yeah, I use baby shampoo for that. You told me about that, and then little wipes as well.
I don't have problems with the metal stuff. I have problems with the blacks and everything.
Me too. Well, I get like I've got like the square on my head, so I've got this, and then on the outside of this square, it's like dark for like a week maybe. So I've got like a square on my head for like after I have the. It's just like actually.
Mine's the
I used to get it in my
Nothing
ears, but I stopped painting the inside of my ears because we have IAMs anyways, and that doesn't help the IAMs. So it's
true.
And after shows, people ask like, "Oh, you didn't paint the inside of your ears?" I'm like, "Yeah, but on stage, it's covered up because the things we use, the inner monitors, mine are black, so it's just like black. It doesn't show skin color. But after
the
show, they
makeup
take them
just
out.
gets clunked up on the IAMs, and you got to spend a lot of time cleaning them out.
I just hate getting people
know it's
asking
gross,
like,
but hey, that's what we do.
why don't you paint the inside of your ears?" I'm like, you can't see it on stage.
Mm.
Because there's something covering it. But after a show and autographs, like, what am I going to do? Go paint my ears just for and my makeup's all
If we're
ruined?
just doing photo shoots, we will paint the inside of our ears.
We will, yes. If it's music videos, stuff like that, we'll paint the inside of our ears. But it's not. It's because if you twist in an IM, you're just pushing paint and stuff into the
in your
IM
ear.
in your ear.
Yeah.
And that has
I
happened.
keep taking off my glasses just because they keep fogging up because it's a little warm in here.
Twitter. A question from Twitter. Beverly Button at bbutton 2010 asks, "What are Zero's hobbies when he's not singing playing?" So I don't know if it's a character question, but how about you answer both? What does Zero like to do when he's not singing playing, and what does Brian like to do when he's not singing playing? We kind of answered.
What does Zero like to do when he's not playing?
Yeah.
You know, like potholes, and that's like Zero. Zero just like jumps on the street, creates potholes for people.
So he makes.
It's not on
potholes.
purpose, but on accident. Skips down the street and then potholes.
It's going to be in a radio adventure. It's going to be like Zero having to fix potholes.
maybe there's like maybe this street is so bad that by creating a pothole, the city will finally do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no cost to it. He doesn't dance and then he creates a pothole. It's not his fault.
What about you?
Does Brian do for,
what does Brian do?
hobbies? I create potholes all over the city. Oh,
Well, we got to laugh.
no, man.
We got to
Using
laugh.
that new
We're moving
pickaxe I got you for Christmas.
Yeah, that's all. Nah, I mean, hobbies. This is my hobby, I guess. Hobby is like hang out with my friends, or hang out with my family. I guess. Play video games.
Another one from Instagram. Mitt Official asks, "What next big thing in quotes are you most excited about?" So this could pretty much be Steam Powered Giraffe or not Steam Powered Giraffe. I'm excited.
Leaving the house. I'm excited.
I want to go hiking again. Like that's how I stay sane. Like it's really good.
I need to go. I want to go see my friends. I want to hang out. I want to go and do stuff and socialize. Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that. I just
really want to do I just really want to do
shows. Yeah, shows.
I want to do
Yeah.
a show.
I would love
That's
to
all I
go to
wanna
Steam Powered
do.
Giraffe show. I mean, the last one was great, and I mean, I always enjoy it. But now I'm just like,
Itching. For
I'm looking
sure.
I'm
forward-
always like sad when we're done with the show because we don't know when the next one will be.
Yeah.
Like usually like a couple months. Or
And
so.
hey,
It's like,
my last show, I was sick. I didn't even get to. I didn't.
No.
It was fun to be up
sorry.
on stage and talk in my destroyed voice when I was sick, but I still have that hankering, and it's worse for me because I was home for 3 weeks, like bedridden, and then I went and did the
true.
show, and then the quarantine happened.
Of
So
course
it was like,
happens.
well, I feel like I had to be prepared for it because I haven't been outside in so long. No, I have obviously for stuff, some things, but I can't get sick. If I get sick,
what about something more positive? Like what else? What's coming out? I mean,
Cyberpunk
I don't know what movies are gonna
2077.
actually go to digital. I really want to see the new Black Widow movie, and like, there's so many films that I'm hoping they just bring out to digital because that's kind of cool. There's video game releases probably.
Last of Us 2. I'm excited about that game.
that just got
That's like
delayed
the
this
only
morning.
game I've ever been excited. What?
Mm.
Yeah,
Wait, you got what?
PlayStation announced that Last of Us 2 has been delayed a lot long with another game.
Oh
No, again?
Yes, because of the
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
Final Fantasy remake, I guess.
That's next week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Fallout 76 on April 7th. I'm trying to think of all the games that I've been following. Greymore should be in May for Elder Scrolls Online. That's pretty cool for me. Big releases, I'm not sure. Like, any
Cyberpunk.
big things that are happening.
Mm,
That's the thing.
I don't know. It's, the thing is, like, I'm not sure, like, what's going to happen. Like, big events and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, I mean
don't
nothing.
know,
There's nothing to
this-
go to.
Yeah. A lot of the things that, like, I was looking forward to probably for a little while. And then it'll be like, it'll be an overload. It'll be an overload of things that you got to go. Like, oh, I got 5 concerts to go to on Saturday. Like 5 things that I chose to do.
I missed
July.
Disneyland and my annual pass. They said they're gonna add on more days, but now
They
I
should.
don't know how that's gonna go. Like that's gonna be crazy. Like the day that we get the all clear or something, it's like is this are the parks gonna be swarmed?
Well,
I don't know. I
I
don't think that
certainly-
people are. Yeah.
I certainly am not going outside day 1 of quarantine over.
I don't think there's going to be an all clear, but I think it's going to be a very
I can
start
wait. I
to
can
stop
wait
kind of
another.
thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Just strap in, everyone. It's gonna be longer than you think.
It's gonna be very long.
And
I would
it's-
say
it's-
August.
It's literally 2
Maybe.
or 3 weeks, depending on when you're starting.
Yeah.
And we need like 10 weeks at least. So
Yeah, I mean, if you read some of the science and stuff behind it, it's like, yeah, this is kind of the new life until like it'll probably
Till-
back off in a couple months, but we're always gonna have to be on guard. So
I think all of us will be. We're never gonna not be self-conscious of washing hands as much as we are.
For
now.
sure.
Like,
and they're saying that they're gonna have to create like points of escalation where it's like get back inside or limit this or limit that. They don't know right now, but I guess we'll find out.
let's keep. I know we keep getting distracted because we have so many other things we keep talking about, which is cool.
Yeah.
But
Let's never talk to a human being in so long.
yeah, no. Instagram. Here's one from Instagram.
Don't fuck up.
At Chaotic Robotic Duck asks, "What exactly
Yo.
is a dummins?"
Funny.
I mean, I guess it's a nicer way of saying dumbs. Like it's like, oh, it's so cute and weird. You don't realize that we're just
Can we
calling
get
each other
some
idiots.
context for that?
I don't know.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, during their stage show, the Spine and Zero will call the Spine a dummins. So just in case you're wondering what the question was
Oh,
about.
okay.
Context.
Not
origin.
just the spine. Anybody can be called a dumb. It all
Yeah, I've been
depends
called a
on
dumbins.
who's being a dumbins at the time.
Yeah, it's an alternate word for dumb ass, basically.
Pretty much.
Dummy. Whatever.
You're
Dummy.
a dumbins.
I said dumb. Okay, yeah.
You're a dumbins.
So, it's not a real word, so I guess it's less offensive. Twitter. Fred asks. This is at Kafka's tick.
A giant cockroach.
I
Yeah.
cannot. Kafkastic. Man, I'm terrible at reading usernames. It's because they're all squunched together, and I'm like,
It's hard.
It's like I can
So
only read the
fucking
like 2 letters at a time. I'm not good at it. I know the Bennetts have known Brian since college, but how exactly did you become friends? Is there some funny story? And how did Brian become a member of the band after Sam left? Was he the one who came up with it, or Isabella and David? Look, David and Isabella, I have a great idea. Let me in your band. No, I don't know.
That was I was like, hey, what do you do? I was like, let me in! Let me in!
I think we always wanted to work with Brian.
Yeah, we've kept in touch, and when Sam announced to us that he was going to leave, and then he graciously said, "Oh, I'll stay as long as you guys want. I just he wants to make his departure to work on his own stuff." I put out the feelers to my Facebook, which was pretty much at the time. I don't have Facebook now, but to just like college friends and stuff, and see, hey, we're looking for another person, and Brian didn't like ask me like this first week or something. I think it was like week 2 or.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like the second time I saw it around. What's going on?
So yeah, well, then we got to talking with that. As far as like we met in college. I think it was because we were in a show together, right?
Yeah,
we got the show.
I do remember seeing you two. Very
Much to do about nothing.
It was you two, Aaron, and Eric. I
Oh.
feel like it was at that audition. It was like an audition for Much Ado About Nothing, and then afterwards, I stopped and maybe Aaron stopped to talk to me. You two were with them as well.
I mean, that's
so
that's
like
that's when I met
y'all were
Aaron
like
too. So yeah.
really?
Yeah.
We'd
Oh.
also
in
hang
that
out
show.
backstage because we had very minor parts, so we would just kind of.
Yeah. We had a lot of songs.
Yeah.
When
When you get minor
American
parts, you
Dad
start.
behind this.
Hey, you want to do something way better than this college theater in the future?
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
mean,
have
yeah, and then
that.
we would go out that random like ballet studio
Yeah.
with
We kept
Robert
it going,
Jenkins and stuff. That was fun. That was a lot of
even though we didn't get a big audience. Like we never got a audience, which is
I
weird.
know, but we were the audience.
We,
It was
we were
for us.
basically
for
training
ourselves.
ourselves. Like,
It was for us. So.
And we treated it pretty as professional as we could. We literally took it over from the guy who started it because he wouldn't show up, and we're like, yeah, but
Yeah.
we're driving out here, so
yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
And we
very
wanted to do it,
awkward
yeah.
and,
But we wanted to do it, so it was like that was cool.
Here's another one from Instagram at Tom Interret Interante Tom Interante I'm giving up on this one.
In
Sorry.
Toronto.
No, TOMINTERRANTE. Tom Interante. Tom Interante. There we got it. Took me a while. Do y'all have a technique of sorts when writing music? Example, music first, then lyrics, or the opposite, etc. Basically, what is your songwriting process like?
Mine's always. I normally do gibberish, and then I'll catch on to a word, some word, and then the lyrics come one phrase or whatever it was.
melody first for me.
Yeah, I think it's always melody first. But then you can find some cool words that and yeah, gibberish too. When I have like I'll mumble some like or hum melodies.
Yeah.
But and they're just in my phone, and sometimes I'll use some made up words just because I like the sound of a vowel.
Yeah, yeah. Because you can fit the syllables in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think once you're writing it, you're of what the song is about. But
I think
you
most
know,
people
you gotta
start
find
with a
something to
melody
laugh.
first, anyways. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, you can turn like a poem into a. I mean, I'll start getting words, but yeah, it's always like I want the hook first, and then when the hook's like, yeah, that's staying in my head.
Yeah.
Because words are a tool too, but a melody is universal. I think the words are
Yeah,
just a
still,
vehicle,
man.
Exactly.
yeah, to
Yeah.
kind of convey it. So you might even know what the song's about in your head, but you just don't know the lyrics at that point.
True.
Here's our last one from Twitter. So we're getting I'm calling these. Thanks for sticking in there, everyone. Twitter.
Yeah. Of course.
Maddie at MadMMS. Maddie I'm assuming. How do you guys balance maintaining such a small team with such a large and growing fan base? Do you ever get overwhelmed by the number of people trying to connect with you, or the business side of things? So we've talked a little bit about a business side of stuff. That can be, it's a lot of work for even a small business like ours.
Totally.
But as far as the fans and stuff, I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I feel like we got inundated with that stuff pretty early on with the zoo performances in around 2011, 2012.
We were right there with our fans, and we had to learn to talk, and
When we-
interact with them.
When we got coming up on Twitter or Tumblr and stuff like that, like we started seeing popularity. Like I think we quickly learned like the ins and outs of that kind of mentality, as far as like dealing with it personally, not like what we actually say online and stuff. But that's like, I don't know. I think now we've been aware of it for so long. It's kind of like just it comes with the territory if we're doing something with Steam Powered Giraffe.
Yeah, you gotta make sure to not to take on too much, not put yourself on offer all the time. So we set our boundaries, and that's all you can do, and then we just
And we
appreciate our fans.
and we get tons of positive messages and stuff, but we also kind of have to know that the people who are going to reach out to you and send you something positive is going to be a smaller amount than the people who are listening to you, but also the people who are going to reach out and send something nasty is going to be a smaller thing too. So I feel like it's always nice for us to keep in mind that like the stuff we get, even though some of it might be positive, like if you just look at what you're getting personally, like when people send you messages and stuff, it can be pretty imbalanced. It can be like, if you get too much nasty stuff, you're like, ugh, why am I getting this stuff? But then of course you look on you go to shows and stuff, and it's all positive and stuff. So it's, you know, I think social media can be a little skewed when you're on that receiving end like that. Because, you know, we'll get messages like we can't reply to just because they're so out there in a way that's like, you know, we could never reply to some people for just some of the stuff that they throw our way. I don't know how to say it other than that, other than like, you know, anything under the sun we've probably gotten at this point in the 12 years or so we've been doing this. Whether that is...
We can't respond to every message. We don't have the energy or spoons to do that, but
Spoons.
I think that's what they say, like, oh, we don't have the spoons.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could make a career out of replying to people, and you'd never scratch the surface, because it's just, I mean, there's just, even at our small level, like, we're only, how many people are we? Like, there's only so many of us.
I imagine most people with a fan base experience the same thing, where it's like you're only going to be able to respond to, like, not even close to half of the people that message you.
Yeah.
Even with your best, even if you're not receiving a lot of things all the time, it's just like energy and stuff. Like, you know, like we're people, and like, we have to set our boundaries based on our personal preferences and stuff.
And you know, some of that stuff, you know, we'll get requests for, like, can you do this for my cousin's birthday and stuff, and we're like, well, you know, we've done that. We've done some stuff in makeup and stuff for, like, very few instances that made sense, that we felt we could do. But now, you know, a few of us have, like, profiles on Cameo.com, so we can, like, you know, you can pay us a few bucks to get that stuff, those videos and stuff, and it's a better platform than, say, us trying to email you something, or, you know what I mean? Like, we don't all get together and do that because we have enough work on our own than doing that. Maybe when we're old and we're like, hey, let's get together and record a bunch of birthday messages. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine doing that now. In makeup, you know? Like, no, it would be impossible.
Much like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Instagram, here's a few more. Let's see how much we can get through. At Just Yuka asks, if you were to live in a fantasy world, what would be your races and classes? So let's pretend this is Dungeons and Dragons. Real quick, I'd be a sorcerer, a human, because I still want to be human, because I know what a human's being like.
It's true.
And I don't want to learn magic. I just want to be inherent with it. So a sorcerer. As far as Dungeons and Dragons.
Necromancer, or like a Death Knight. I like being spooky, but I also like plate armor. You know, what's a girl to do?
I'm going paladin, half orc. Get a little taste of both.
Oh, we're supposed to choose a species.
Race as well, yeah.
Kenku or Tiefling.
Oh, nice.
I played a Minotaur before, so that's fun.
Cool.
Another one from Instagram. Voidfish Jr. asks, how did you learn the accordion, Bunny?
Not very well, but I picked up an old timey one, and that one was way out of tune. Bought a better one, and I just started practicing. You practice one side, you practice the other, and I was able to get, you know, on some Spider-Man, be able to play both. And, you know, like, it's a really hard instrument, and I think at the time we just wanted something that could kind of feel that sound. Now we use the guitar, and it's just because setting up the accordion for one song is a pain in the butt, and it's not used too often anymore in our set. So, like, if we want an accordion sound, we can use the guitar. As you can, some of you probably know, if I'm looking for notes or something, I'll either get out my ukulele, or I'll get out the accordion. Yeah, I can still do stuff with it, but I'm out of practice, and, you know, it's a fun instrument, but I never really learned. I just kind of just memorizing the keys, the key presses. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not very good at improvising with music.
Cool. 3 more questions on Instagram, and then I'll just scroll through some of these donations ones, and we'll touch on those, and then that'll be the end of the stream. Is that cool with everyone?
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for hanging in there.
Parting is such sweet.
So these
sorrow.
last 3 come from Instagram. Thank you everyone for submitting on social media. We didn't pick any order. We just took them all in a list, and we tried to pick ones that weren't duplicates and stuff like that. Okay. At Rachel Bell I asks, are there any sort of pre-show rituals that any of you have, or specific things you each do to get ready for a live performance? Pretty good question we get every once in a while. Brian, what about you? You're a performer, man, by nature.
Yeah, for sure. It's a. I think a pre-show ritual is always just connect with every going to go on stage with. I think that's the biggest thing. Everything else is just kind of finding your center, finding your breath, stuff like that. Try not to let nerves get the hang of it, get the best. Yeah.
I think
I would
I think
agree.
our sound check and stuff definitely helps with that. Like we're in the theater long enough that when the show starts, like we've been there, we've touched on a little bit of the songs to make sure all the mixes are right. So for me, it's pretty much just, I warm up my voice a little bit, which sound check helps with that too. But also right before I go on stage, I try to do a little bit of robot movements to kind of tell my brain like, hey, this is what this feels like.
Totally. I think connecting, we kind of have this thing where we will handshake, high five, or hug,
Yeah.
depending right before the show.
Depending if we're
just
mad
to
at
kind
each
of
other
drum
or
ups.
not. No.
Yeah, just sort of like, yeah. I mean, I know my brother and I always give hugs backstage because one of us might be
The
stressed
future,
out
there's
or-
no hugs. There's no contact. We're 6 feet apart. Everyone.
Yeah,
No,
but
we're hugging. We're
but
hugging, all right.
it's all just a part about like we're all here for each other. Like you can do no wrong. Like it's all that camaraderie. Like getting that up. And by the time we do that, it's like we're ready. We're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get on stage.
I mean,
And
that's
I
a
always
pretty good
feel
feeling.
like Steam Powered Giraffe shows are better as soon as someone drops their pants. And when I say that, I mean if we can get the audience to laugh, then all the pressure goes away.
Yeah, true.
And then it's
true.
like, okay, we got them. So I think right in the beginning, that first song is always the hardest. But if you can make them chuckle, then it starts feeling like, okay, I can do this. At least that's for me.
I get that. Yeah.
Okay. Here's another question from Instagram. At Morgan Jones 1 asks, "What's your process of creating the SPG lore?" And I guess for us, I suppose, besides creating it like on stage and just like ideas that we like, we obviously have sat down with past members and Bunny and I
It's
and-
whatever fever dream we're
Yeah.
we're fixated on at the time.
and the comic as well. Like we actually we did think up like a generic story or the general idea of it and have tweaked it a little bit based on what we kind of wanted a comic and stuff to do, and some of that but I think Bunny can speak a little more to that than myself.
We just kind of come up with stuff, and like, I mean, I love writing the story and stuff, and I probably do the most work on it, but it's constantly talking to David and Brian and any other members, and because like I think the mantra of Steam Powered Giraffe, and certainly mine, is that the best work comes from multiple people. So like I'll take an idea that I think is really cool, but then I will bring it to David, and he's like, well, what if he did this and this? And I'm like, I don't know about that. And then we just talk about it, and then I'm like, actually, that's really cool.
I mean,
And
sometimes
then
it's as simple as like, here's a joke, like apples on a roller coaster, or like,
Right.
or like here's a giant fly swatter.
It's
like,
pretty much like what you would get in a writing session. I
Yeah.
mean, we haven't really been a part of that, but like I would assume it's pretty similar. Like someone has an idea, and we just keep talking about it, and we find the bits. I mean, usually it's like bits, but then the lore and everything with the comics and everything. Like right now, I'm wanting to revitalize the Steam Powered Giraffe comic, so I've been asking stuff about David. I've been talking to my girlfriends about like, oh, I want Spine to have a story. Do you think this would be appropriate? And then like we just talk it out.
We have I mean, we started
Working on
doing
it.
the radio adventures more recently again. We're trying to keep that
Yeah.
up, which is actually like I think in the quarantine it's something we can totally keep doing. Slightly different because
I'm about more than halfway done with it. Like I did a little animatic, so I kind of put a wrench in because I wanted to do this little animatic. It's on Patreon, but like still working on it.
But that has helped us too because I think we even want to try to do ones in the future a little more scripted and just see how that goes, the process, which would actually help in the quarantine because the delay makes it harder.
Yeah, help with the improv.
Makes it a little harder. But we'll see.
I
how
think the
that's
improv
thing.
ones are cool and everything. It'd just be a lot less editing if we all understood.
If all of our future radio
basic-
adventures are the robots on a video call, we're golden.
I mean, I think the newest one, it keeps getting better. Like I think this newest one is definitely one of the better ones, but it would be improved if we just had a little bit of like a script, just ideas. Like there's beats that we naturally created, but I still have to go through and like cut up the ones that didn't work, and like,
Yeah.
because it's just like with any writing, you need like you need a conflict, you need to introduce this character, and it's like that's really hard when you're all just improvising to make it like seem like it. So it's like, why not just Because we're pretty good about like following a script and then diverging from it and then getting
For
back
sure,
onto it.
for
Because that's what we do
sure.
in our show all the time.
So last question from Instagram, and then we'll go to some of the donation questions. This is from @SoFiggy. Hey Brian, what are your favorite parts of being with SPG and the routine? Any
Oh,
crossovers there?
interesting.
Other than
Crossovers.
the music?
You know what? It's the music. Yeah. Well, it's the performance on both ways, because I think with the routine, it's so like the depths of all my energy and all like, I'm allowed to get to the extreme energy that without like everyone's always also matching that energy and that energy from that side, and then being able to come to this side, dig into character, stuff like that, and then also doing that's I think that's makes SPG very unique on the entertainment front, and it's yeah. So I think it just makes it very unique, and I love the aspect of it. I like the fact that the story
Okay,
is building.
Your poor mic.
So is it the worst? I'm
I actually,
sorry.
I think
We
it's
should-
the
okay,
I think
what we
it's the
need to do-
sensitivity on the Discord. If you, I
what
bet,
we need to do is buy and ship him one of these microphones.
No, I've got a mic I could like set up. I just don't.
I think it's less the quality, and that Discord is like
No, the quality's okay.
the
yeah.
sensitivity is it's like it's cutting off like some words just because it's like the sensitivity is not sensitive.
Yeah.
Really? Well,
So if
sorry.
Oh,
you went to like push to talk, I bet it would probably work like perfectly fine.
a little better, yeah.
We're hearing enough of what you're saying.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
understand what you're saying though. But yeah.
We only know, I
Mic
can hear it on our end
issues,
too, but
it's
the
why-
chat's also
why-
like saying like that same thing.
Well, sorry, y'all.
So here's some donation questions. I'll try to get throw these up on there again. So Cherry Fox Blossom asks, "Hello guys from Arizona and Canada. How much fun is it to be in the band for you guys? P.S. Me and the wife love you guys. Being in the band's pretty fun.
It's the best thing that I've ever done with my life.
It's a lot of fun.
Thank you for that. MC B-Boy Boo asks, "Thank you for bringing more than joy to my family." This was not a question, so I should have read it before I pressed it. But, hey, thank
You're
you for your stuff.
welcome.
We're in their 4-year-old toddlers. Sorry, yeah.
Radar?
I can't read the text. It's a little. But anyways, they can't thank us enough. We're helping them.
Cool.
I'm not trying to give personal details away, but it throws up on the stream and stuff.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna try to give me a few seconds because I don't want to read the ones that aren't since they've already gone up on stream. I want to read the ones that actually aren't questions. Not that they had to. It's just I feel like we might as well if they gave us money.
Mhm.
Lots of great ones that you've probably seen shown up in here. I see them all again. Let's see. Here's one. Sid Highwind from Yomicon, I guess, asked and donated. You're all awesome and gave autograph on Nintendo DS, but it wore off. How can fans get autographs during quarantine? I guess
Oh no!
it's one of the ones that cut off on the stream, but you get the idea. Yeah, well, we still sell some autographed items on our store. So we have some CDs from past members too, as well as current ones. And I think we still have some 2017 autograph prints featuring the 3 robots and Steve and all that. So yeah, our store, spgiraffestore.com or steampoweredgiraffe.com, you can find links to it there.
You can still get some merchandise with autographs.
Here's one from Miss Bunny with double Y. Adore you all. As a literature major
Doppelganger.
in her second semester of her grad program, what are your favorite books?
Cool.
The Odyssey. Anything by Michael Crichton?
There's some good stuff. I mean, when I was a kid, I read a lot of like classic science fiction like H.G. Wells and Jules Verne. I don't read as much today. I do a lot of books. So I've been doing Wheel of Time. I did Harry Potter for a while, but then I just stopped that for, well, you know why. And then I've been listening to a lot of Star Wars books right now, just because, you know, that last movie just got me kind of perturbed, and now I'm like, okay, I get it. If you want a good movie for Star Wars, read the books because those are great. I was reading the Phasma. I'm reading Black Spire Outpost. Yeah, Wheel of Time, some other things, The Magicians. I've been getting through that series, all on audiobook.
What about you, Brian?
Nice. I said anything by Michael Crichton.
Oh, right. You already said that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Eastworld. No, that's,
Yeah. Well, I've never read. Also, it's not a.
He never. No. He wrote he did the screenplay, and it was his first directing gig.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good. It's a great movie. It's the first time a movie like introduces the concept of a computer virus.
Yul
It's the first
Brynner.
use of CG in a movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yul Brynner. My mom was a huge Yul Brynner fan, so I definitely watched that movie a lot when I was a kid. Yeah. But yeah, all of his Sphere and Jurassic Park, all of his movies have, number one, all of his books are so much fun to read, and they're also like super scientific. They all have like very scientific stories.
It's great.
Better.
I love it.
Obviously,
Jurassic Park.
I can't say that
It's the best.
I read very often. I mean, I read, but I don't read.
You were reading the Dark Tower. Did you ever complete it?
I only got through 2.25 of the books.
Did the movie coming out kind of stop all that?
Yeah, but not really. I was reading them when I was flying a lot, and we haven't done many shows, so I just stopped
I
reading.
hear they're gonna try to make a better movie or TV series, which would be amazing. But Idris Elba.
He was really good in it, but it was
I never
rough
saw it.
movie.
Yeah, rough movie.
So here's a we'll get through these last few. There's only a few more questions from the donators. Deathly Gibson asks, what do Spine and Rabbit do in their free time? I think the Spine likes to do mundane tasks.
No. Say it in the Spine voice.
Well, I like to shut off and just calculate things in my brain, like everyone else, right? Isn't that your favorite thing, Zero?
No.
Well,
I like feeding the ducks and looking at different shades of mayonnaise that I've smeared on the pieces of cardboard in my mayonnaise gallery. I'm really doing like scientific studies. It's not scientific studies. They're the high concept art pieces.
I
hope you will listen. I hope you will see them. I know you guys keep saying we don't want to go in there. It smells really bad, but please, it would mean a lot to me if you would come and see my rotten mayo on cardboard.
I can't get any more mold in my gears.
I think we can fit some more in.
Oh.
Well, we can't agree on everything. Tomato, because that's the only way
Let's
to say
go
it.
feed the ducks together with social distancing.
So there's some ideas for what they do in the free time. Here's one from Crooner, who asks, David, is your favorite animal still giraffes? I remember that was why you named the band. Also, what are the rest of y'all's favorite animals? I think it goes giraffes, dinosaurs, cats, in that order.
Dang.
Maybe
that's
cats
pretty
more
good.
giraffes, because it's not like I'm going to befriend a
What about
giraffe.
you, Brian?
I like elephants and
You said elephants and oranges?
orcas, like
Orcas.
killer whales.
You cut out there. Okay, orcas are cool. I'm not going to tell this story. Never mind. It was about how killer whales procreate, and I don't think anyone wants to hear that.
Stay tuned for
it's like- okay,
After Hours with
here,
Tony Bennett.
I'll put it delicately. It's like when one of those big air freighters gets refueled in
Yeah.
the air.
Yeah, most sea creatures are like that. Especially
It's
how
pretty
most
interesting.
Sea creatures procreate.
Anyway.
That wasn't the question that they asked, by the way. They weren't
I
asking
just
how.
really want to tell
Isn't
you
it-
how whales procreate. It's very interesting and weird. I like cats. I do like rabbits. Bunnies are cute. We had bunnies growing up. Mini Lops, Dave and I. But I like bat and rat and cat and elephants and Shorley, of course. Don't you forget my unicorn. Kangaroo, mice, snake. I love all the animals. Can you tell? I love animals so much. I don't know. I love going to the zoo. I love the different creatures in this world. Even the bugs, even though I'm terrified of them. I keep spiders in my house. You know, not like in cages, just like if I see one. We had a mama spider. I put her under an awning so she could lay her eggs because she was trying to lay them in here, and I'm like, I'm not having baby spiders crawling all over me. That is not a nightmare I want. But yeah, like we gotta take care of our creatures. We're sharing the earth with them.
Here's a question from Redwood Empress. Have you considered, or have you, and I just haven't heard it, doing a White Stripes cover? I have not. I'll be honest.
I like Jack White a lot, but
Yeah. That comes up a lot. It's weird that it comes up a lot, but yeah.
You know what?
I
like his song on the Conan podcast.
Yeah, he's good.
Is the intro? That's him, right? Jack
on
White.
what podcast?
The Conan O'Brien podcast.
I never listened to that.
That's Jack White, right? Penny X? On the intro.
No, that's Jack Black.
Jack White. Yeah, Jack White.
People always used to say that I looked like Jack White, and I'm like, okay, but I don't see it. But he's great.
I'm like trying to imagine what he looks like. Every time I imagine Jack White, he like Johnny.
I would get that a lot. They were like you look like Jack White. You sound like Jack White. I'm like, I don't understand. But yeah, and then we also get a lot of requests, so I'm like to cover them or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have any favorite songs by him or the band. Unfortunately,
I'm aware. I mean, I think he's great, but I couldn't name a song. Save life with me.
Seven Nation Army is the best song.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's great.
But when I think of covers, I'm like, I don't want to do one that people, the obvious ones. Like, and even when I do
the hardest button
streams,
to I can tell you what songs. We'll talk about White Stripes later.
So here's
we're gonna do some more covers.
So the main
folks.
issue I see now is people are still donating to get questions in. Now that I didn't think this through, I should have said no questions on donations. But to be fair, if it gets more questions, I guess it is.
Okay. Maybe we try to give one-word answers or
yeah, short answers.
Or
short answers.
Short answers.
We're set. There's still 7 minutes worth of ones to get through, and they're not all questions. So, but we'll do our best. Super Smiley DJ asks. Already donated, but here's another for a question. Who's the most attractive member of the band? Well, I don't think. I think that really depends on.
It's obviously Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Obviously. He's so handsome.
I'm glad that we can all agree, David.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I don't. Does anyone look in the mirror and think, "Yep, I'm attractive"? I'm the most attractive. I'm not attracted to myself.
No.
That's not how humans should work, anyways. I mean, I guess.
David, you're handsome, but you're my brother, so it's gross.
And Brian, you're handsome too, but I'm not interested.
Oh, thank you! Wow, that's so sweet. Y'all are both so beautiful in your own way.
Obviously, I'm gay, so
I'm gonna pinch y'all cheek if I could. I'd pinch your cheek. That's me pinching them.
I mean,
it's all subjective. The great thing is that everyone perceives people differently,
and everyone can look not as attractive.
And honestly, it's not something that we think about because
I don't know why that's like the easiest thing to do. But just get a better angle. Like I think my best angle is
trying to mutate my face into something horrible. But
dead on.
The lighting's too good.
I'm not good on. I don't like dead on, but this is a pretty good angle.
Oh, Brian's great now.
I think you're more attractive. No.
I am more attractive.
So this next question comes, another one from Redwood Empress. This question is, how are your Animal Crossing islands coming? Also, how long did it take to feel confident enough in your musical abilities to perform in public? As far as
I'm on day 2 of Animal Crossing.
I'm on day 4
still,
so I have not played much.
I got blacklight skull wallpaper, so that's great.
Brian, 0 days.
Zero.
And confident.
Also, zero confidence. I have 0 days and zero confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, for the musical stuff, my first play wasn't musical. Oh, no, it wasn't musical. It was like in high school, How to Succeed in Business, and I was like just a small character, Bert Bratt, and I was like so nervous. Sam was the lead in that show, and J. Pierpont Finch or whatever. So, and I just remember like I walked out and I saw the audience and I just froze, and I was supposed to say something on the phone.
No.
And then he said, "Who is it?" And then I said my line. So he just kind of helped me out there. And then I never
like
really
the
had
movies.
that kind of stage fright again after I realized, oh yeah, I'm supposed to say my lines. And this was because that was the first time I did like a play. But after that, it was fine. I was able to sing whatever my song was later in the show, and I don't think anyone has
I
confidence.
think doing those high school things were really helpful. Like your high school stuff, you should go through that deer in headlights, and
For sure.
it's good. And they always say, like, use it as energy. Use it as energy. And that's the best advice. It's like, yeah, you're already getting excited. And it's like, just you got to start channeling that. Plus, when you're in an ensemble cast, whether it be Steam Powered Giraffe or like in theater, you have people there for you, even though they're probably think the same thing. They're just focused on what they're doing. Like, that's when you're not the lead, it makes everything so much easier. Not lead, and
This
we have no
next-
leads in Steam Powered Giraffe.
This next question comes from Trauma. Did you guys find it difficult to keep the number scheme for the album? The one that I've been afraid of is 7.
Why?
Well, because I think
We already know what it's going to be. 7 Deadly Sins.
because there's obvious ones. I think that's the main reason. Where the other ones, quad. There's so many words you could do with that. And of course you could do the number thing, which we've pretty much only done twice if you count 2 Cent Show. So where it's like an actual number instead of like a word representing the number, or album 1, I guess. Anyways, I think it's pretty much like do we have the idea already, and does it fit what we're trying to put out?
For album 7, I don't think so. But we could do like maybe we just write a bunch of jingles for 7-Eleven, and that could be the album name, or
Or
maybe we
24/7,
do, like-
or because here's the problem: the more we say, one of them is going to end up being it. So
or maybe we say 7th Heaven, or
Yeah.
we do
Maybe
like from
the 7
noon
C's
till
of
7, working hard. No, from 9 to 7.
the 7 C sharp.
working
It's
over
a-
9 hours.
It's an equation, so you have to subtract the numbers to get.
to get the-
It's like a word problem.
Yeah, it's like 5 plus 2.
Like
the
if
album.
you-
5 plus 2.
That's what you're imagining.
Or it's just this. This is the album name. It's like anytime you want to say it. Well, when we worked on album, we and it's just that's the whole time.
I like it.
Congratulations. I've paused the donations now, so this is the last question we're going to answer.
We
Wow.
don't want your money anymore.
It's another
No.
another
Wow.
person. Another question from MCB Boy Boo. That's a pretty
I
name.
love it. I love that name.
B Boy Boo.
Can you say it one more time?
MCB Boy Boo. Dang it. MCB Boy Boo. How wide is your vocal range, the spine? I know it's obviously just me, but I have no idea. I mean, I think together we find who can do the highest stuff and the lowest stuff, and we try to match harmonies with whoever's singing lead. So sometimes that's
Brian's
me being
the
the highest,
highest.
I've got a blue shadow wall.
So yeah.
You got like two. You got like D2, so like 2 lower between, like lower than middle C.
Because here's the thing: is even if you can sing something that high, like in your head voice, it ain't gonna
How
sound
cool
good. How good is it? How much
Yeah.
energy can you put behind
That's
it?
what the
Well, that's why
Bee Gees did. They made a whole career out of it.
Yeah,
but that's why you give them you give them comfortable to stretch it out. But I'm saying you could go from like lower D, like D2 to like, I don't know. You got B's up there. You got high B's up
in
there.
a
you
pinch,
sing.
we can definitely do some high stuff. All of us, like
Yeah.
especially for albums, because you have to hit it once.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know the actual range. I mean, we obviously sing songs in a certain range, and of course, if we're like, we'll like change song keys if we find playing one is too hard.
Yeah.
And if we're really
Yeah.
struggling at some of those higher ones, but yeah, I don't know.
It's nice to have the flexibility. Like, if I know that I can put David in my song and stick him with the high parts if I want to, or the low parts. It's great.
Depends on how you feel.
Yeah.
Well, this was pretty fun. Thanks. I think we had about 500 people tune in, and it tapered off towards the end like normal. So thanks for joining us. We'll have something. I think I kind of want to keep up the weekly thing, even if it's not a big live stream or something. But
Have people watched the Golden Harp of Dreams? I know it's already alive, but
we could do showings of that too. But since it's already on our YouTube, who knows? I
Yeah.
was thinking, but I'll run by some ideas for which shows we could probably maybe another showing of one of our concerts, maybe one of our recent ones
Yeah.
or something. But we'll talk about it and we'll figure out something for next week. Next
Could we,
Thursday,
like,
if maybe.
do you think like the three of us could like somehow connect to a video game and like stream that? Like, could we do like a Jackbox party game? That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Would people watch that?
I don't know. Ask them.
them.
You guys got ideas for stuff? We'll do.
Yeah, so because obviously performing is like I said, one of us could. We have an acoustic live stream for our patrons coming up next month. We haven't set the date yet on Patreon.com, but we can't really do that. So we're gonna have to come up with an alternative live stream.
Could we do like a little mini D&D session with SolGexCon?
That'd be fun.
Who's gonna be the the
you, of course.
Chelsea,
DM?
Camille, someone who I don't know.
Steve, we call Steve. Steve will DM.
Yeah, and we'll just be the characters.
and it would just be this whole we could do the same Discord thing again. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
just
see.
do it like a
Yeah.
2 or 3 hour session, and we just do a little mini one-off.
Well, we'll see.
I got tons of ideas. I don't know if they're good, but I got ideas. If the
I keep throwing them in this furnace. It'll keep
one of
fire
them's
burning.
got a stick. I don't know what voice that is.
So
I'm scared.
because we're still finishing these next two songs, they're almost ready to go out the window and into your homes. But they're not.
I thought you like out
yet.
the window into
In
the
the
trash.
trash.
Oh, yeah, that's not really. I guess it's not the idiom, but
They're sounding great. David's done such a great
so
job on these.
next
oh my
week
God.
it'll probably just be a a showing, something a little less involved, so we can keep working on those albums and stuff. But this has been pretty good because it's like I have enough breaks. I get to work on the album, talk to you guys about all that crap. Then we do something like this, and then on the weekend I can do a Twitch stream and continue using my voice so I don't get rusty.
Mm.
I hope the rest of you all are staying sane.
Absolutely.
Appreciate everyone tuning in.
It's been fun spending more time with you guys. It really has. You guys are awesome. You guys in the audience, I mean.
And congratulations, AT&T's
these guys are
internet connectivity held out better than
Yeah,
Cox Cable.
Yeah.
How many drop frames are you getting when you do Twitch, Bunny? I don't get too many, but
it's pretty.
it's more than normal,
sporadic.
right?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
just making sure.
I just kind of stick with it. Some days are better than others.
I'll probably just try to stream
Everyone
it
kind of
when-
understands that all the connections are overloaded, so it's like
Yeah.
whatever.
It's weird that some of the cell signals are working better than the internet that we're paying a lot for every month. Anyways,
yeah.
thanks. I know that was a little longer than we anticipated, about 2.5
I don't
hours.
think they care. I think that was great.
That's great. Yeah, it was fun.
That was great.
I'm gonna go eat something and recharge.
Yeah.
That's what
I'll
I'm
see-
trying to do. Yeah.
I'll see some of you tonight if you want to watch movies with me.
Yay.
I don't mean to like.
No,
Sorry, I
go
don't mean to,
ahead.
like-
There's just letting
like-
people. Oh, it's your thing is usually PG-13 or something, right?
Yeah, like it's a little PG-13. We've been better on the language. It's just because of sometimes I'll drop an F-bomb here for humor, and a little more adult jokes. But yeah, just so you know, it's a little more adult oriented. But love to see you there. And yeah, it's on twitch.tv/BunnyBennett. You can find it on my Twitter. And yeah, David's you're gonna be streaming this weekend again?
Yeah, I'm not. I pick a day based on how I'm feeling. So it might be Saturday, might be Sunday, maybe it's Friday. Who knows? But that's tomorrow. I probably won't do it tomorrow. Yeah, cool. I keep getting the same alert. It keeps popping up. Cool. Twitch or Streamlabs is like acting stupid. Anyways, it's like thanks for so much. Great music. I've seen the Matt Guffin.
Thanks for all your questions. Sorry if we couldn't get to yours.
Seriously,
maybe
it was
we'll
awesome.
do this again in a couple months.
For sure. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna end the stream. And
Bye,
thanks for
guys.
joining us.
Stay
everybody.
safe.
Adios.
Oh, and yeah, keep a lookout for those 2 new songs coming your way soon.
Coming your way.